Hello, everybody. Hello, 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 hello. Welcome. Hi, hi. John, going. We're here to talk about video games. It's me, John, in charge of the video game website Gamesline. How's it going? With me this time are my two. We have Lily here. Lily, you're here, and you are. Your desk is completely and totally covered with stuff. You have a lot of stuff going on. What's up? What's up? What is all this?
I just felt like it was my relationship with this year crystallized in tchotchke form. As you can see over my left shoulder, we have the non-denominational wintertime bush.
Hmm.
So it should signify that whatever variety of holiday man that you expect to intrude on your home, that's the good one.
That's right. Your favorite winter person will appear and present to you an object of desire that you choose.
It could
Um,
be Krampus.
could
It
be.
could be Terrifier the Clown.
I would hate that though. I'd be so terrified.
You wouldn't want Terrifier the Wintertime Clown?
Oh well. One moment. It seems like we just got like a ping on here. I don't. I guess someone subscribed on Twitch. Wonderful. Um. Yeah.
Yay!
I appreciate it. I didn't. I didn't know that was on. But you know what? That's okay. Thank you. Um. Thank you. Big challenges, Dan, for that. But yeah, I would be so terrified if Terrifier the Clown terrified me for the holidays, but maybe someone would like that. Who am I to judge? I'm John, that's who am I to judge. But I also see on your holiday bush here, you do have a gamer Santa and gamer marshmallow snowman. Uh
Yeah, he's got the energy drinks, he's got the Cheetos. It's because we're all about the gaming. Even if it is the holiday season, we're still all about that gaming.
that's so true. I mean, all those classic holiday songs like gaming around the Christmas tree and have a have a Halo Jolly Christmas. Um,
That was a good one.
um,
Noobs roasting around an open fire.
a good one. Okay, one more. Shit. Um, um,
I saw Mario kissing Santa Claus.
there you go. Uh,
Okay, so legitimately I had the exact same thought, but I didn't want to say
I don't care. I'll say it.
it.
good. That's good. All right. But yes, Rose, you are also here. Hello, and you're
Hi.
got Virgil doing a bunch of damage right here. I'm seeing.
Yep. Yeah.
Um,
I finally had space on my PlayStation 5 this time around. So I could re-download Special Edition DMC5, which I bought like last year and then didn't play at all.
nice.
This
Um,
is this is my influence.
it is also from playing a bunch of bad action games back to back and being like, I need this.
You need the
Save this.
respite.
No, yeah, because you played. I mean, you were here for you talked. Oh, whoops. You talked about your review for that I don't even remember what it was
Demon
called.
School
No, the
or
one before.
Kazan or
No, the one after
oh,
that. You don't even
one
remember
after
it.
that.
The Final Fantasy 13 like.
Oh,
Or 14.
Reynatus?
Yes, yes. I think what?
Yes,
No, wait,
that
no.
was a while ago.
Okay, hang on. I think that's even not
No,
what I'm
that's
thinking
that's
about.
even a different one.
Yeah,
Wasn't it Lost Souls Aside or
that
whatever?
one. That's what I
Oh,
meant. Oh my
yeah,
god.
yeah. Oh my god.
What are
Okay,
we
yes.
doing?
Okay.
Legitimately, I was like about to say like Noctis on his big sad shoulder dragon adventure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
I mean 13, I meant 15.
yeah. No, I get it. So when you said 13, I was like, versus 13. That's
Versus
right. And I was like,
13.
that should have
Yes.
gotten me for that one, also, honestly, though,
Yes.
because that one is. But no, yeah, no, that one was. Yeah, that one did not. It was close. I will say that it was closer than most. But yeah, no, I needed that. thing. However, I did open it and I had played a little bit, and I was at the part where you play as Virgil and fight V's boss guy, who's the oh my god, it's escaping me, named after the tree or whatever.
Yggdrasil?
Nidhogg.
Nidhogg.
Oh.
There we go. Thank you. Yeah.
I got Yggdrasil on the fucking brain. I'm sorry. Digimon's got me cooked. I'm sorry.
I think that Nidhogg's related to Yggdrasil.
Yeah.
Not a good fight for Virgil when you haven't played
No.
Virgil in a while, especially. So I was like, oh yeah, we're just gonna restart.
Virgil has to be all jumping and jorping all over that fight, and that's not where he typically likes to
Yeah.
be. He can't
No.
brood in midair.
Yeah.
One more question. What is Horn Soda like? Because you do have a bottle
It's
of
great.
Horn Soda here. What's it taste like?
It's, like Dr. Pepper has 23 flavors, and that might be a bit much, so it's only 12.
Oh.
And it's mostly just cherry and strawberry and things of that nature. Tastes
Okay.
very good.
You don't want to spoil all the flavors, but
yeah, we can't say all of them, but I'm letting you know there's 2 of them that are pretty nice in there.
like God, that reminds me. I mean, did you all see that stuff that was going on with the like KFC stuff recently?
No.
Okay. So apparently the like family of Colonel Sanders is extremely mad about how they've been using his likeness in advertisements, like specifically how they've been making like sexy Colonel Sanders stuff, like with the fucking visual novel and like a bunch of other things where they were like, we don't like you sexualizing our old ass Colonel great great grandpa or whatever. So one of like his like super far down the line like relatives posted on TikTok and like said the herbs and spices mix, like just leaked it because they were like, "Fuck you!" Like
Oh
we
my
know
God.
it because there's our family recipe. Like we make that chicken at home all the time. But yeah, this is it. I don't remember what it is, or you could Google it and you can see what it is. But yeah, it's really funny that they're just like you made horny gajinkas of Colonel Sanders, so fuck you. But like I'm sure that's not going to actually like cut into their bottom line because everyone's going to KFC because they don't want to cook. So, but
Yeah.
I mean, I think
it's funny.
I'll keep the digression to a minimum, but it's like one of those things where it's like it's kind of been like an open secret for a long time that even the Colonel kind of fucking hated what KFC became because it was
Sure.
like he gave up rights to the likeness of his own image and they used it to sell bad chicken.
Yeah.
That would be like if someone patented you and started using it to mint NFTs with.
Yeah. Wouldn't like that.
You gotta get in on your John coin.
I don't want John Coin. I would sell I wouldn't I wouldn't sell my likeness. I would advertise a good amount of things. I would not want to do like crypto. I would there's some stuff that I would stupid advertise. I have a limit.
Like hot sauce.
Right. Well, yeah, let's stop talking about chicken now at least. And let's talk about gaming. Um, I'm gonna be honest. I did not play too many video games this past week because I was like really hunkered down on that Digimon review that is up on the site right now if you want to go look at it. Um, that was what I was working on most of the time, honestly. So I do need to hop on some gaming after that.
Do you have any
But
ambitions?
um, I mean, really, I guess the two things that I want to focus on that are kind of end of the year goals, I guess, is Trails and Clair Obscur. And anything else after that would be gravy. Um, I'm more focused on Trails right now.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm trying to think of what else I could do. No, I do have games that I've purchased and haven't gotten to yet, but we'll see how that is. I still haven't played the Switch 2 port of Persona 3 Reload because waiting for the patch, I guess.
Yeah, that's what I've heard is that you should do that. So
Yeah. I mean, I got it because it was $20, so it was like I'm just buying this now while it's cheap, so I can, when the patch comes out, I'll just have it. And still messing around with that Picross game, the Raiden Pixel Museum game. But I guess we can start off here. I mean, y'all were kind of talking about DMC already. Lily, you said that you have reached the end of DMC Autumn. Do you want to tell us about how that came to pass? How you wrapped it up?
So I think the last time I was on the podcast, I was partway through like the final part, and in the interjoining weeks, I pushed through all of the rest of it, and then I got to play as like the Virgil stuff, and this kind of partly ties into a thing that I'm literally writing right now. I like pounded out 2,000 words today about this subject. Not just Mr. Virgil, but a secret other thing that you'll find out about later as a Gamesline Christmas gift to all of you. But gosh, if I can just like fangirl for a minute, just
Please.
Virgil, I know like literally the words were said that Dante like has like the best like action move set of any like action game. The thing is, I agree with that to an extent. And that extent is like it is so dense, it is so interlayered that there is basically someone for like something for everyone.
Mhm.
It is like a smorgasbord of options. And then I played Virgil. I played Virgil and I remembered the fire in my own heart of how much I love edgelords in games. We can just say this is a safe space to say edgelord enjoyers, I see you. I am one of your ilk. And having a guy who can just instantly teleport behind you and nothing personal you for too long. The dominant social pattern has been that that is cringe, that is lame,
It's
that is
sick.
bad. No, it's cool as heck, and you people need to let joy into your
It's
lives.
sick as hell.
This is a guy who doesn't even dodge. He does the extra task of just teleporting 2 feet to the left,
Yeah.
just to spite you. God, Virgil's so cool, though.
Yeah,
I think is
I will say, like, to clarify my stance, I suppose Dante has the best like action game move set in DMC5, like density wise, like you said. But if we're talking pure swag, then it is Virgil in DMC.
It's just so good. And again, like so much of that game is just kind of like I was streaming it, I think for you. You were watching
I was
me
watching a little bit,
play
yeah.
Virgil. And it was like it is so amazing that that game can exist, and it is possible to be effortlessly cool with Virgil because they literally put 300% like cool factor on every attack this guy has. Uh sword summon from nothing, we got you.
Yeah.
Faster than light, like sword cuts, we got you. The ability to stop time and force everyone to look at you doing like one really cool sword swing, we got you. They put everything into that moveset.
No, for sure.
And that's frankly the high watermark, you know? DMC Autumn was about me like revisiting thoughtfully this game franchise that has like defined my taste for a lot of my existence. And it clarified to me with perfect, limpid purity that white-haired anime boys with really cool swords. We just nailed it in one. Like there's nothing cooler than that.
Absolutely.
Except maybe if it was a white-haired sword-wielding anime girl.
Have you ever seen the video game AI Limit? It's pretty fun.
Don't don't.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I was so sad playing it because that game doesn't get along with my computer and I don't know why.
No, I heard that it had a lot of optimization issues at launch.
Like, I don't even think it was like a DirectX issue. I would boot it up and it would just play audio with no video, and
Huh.
reinstalling my graphics drivers, uh, like literally every bit of troubleshooting I could do, it did not work, and I don't know why.
That's so sad. I'm surprised because like it runs on a Steam Deck fine, even. That's crazy.
I don't
But
know. I I have
I'm not too surprised. It's like a Chinese independent game, right? So it's like
Yeah, I mean,
two
I didn't
layers of
exactly
abstraction.
expect it to be polished, you know? But it was just kinda like, "Oh, it doesn't even load."
No. I hope someday it loads for you.
I'm always saying this.
uh, Rose, do you wish to take a turn? What have you been playing? What's something that you want to highlight?
Sure. I guess I didn't talk about it on the podcast, but we do have My Demon School review up from a few days ago.
Yes,
Um,
that is true. A review that sounded very um not like sad, but just a little frustrated and a little like, oh
wistful.
man, yeah, I wish I didn't have to do this kind of deal.
Yeah. Yeah, I was really sad about that game because I was looking forward to it because I like I've said I like those Into the Breach style stuff, right? I like the going around the tile set on prefab encounters, and the idea is like, oh, you can solve this by pushing them around in a specific order. And I think that game's pretty good in some ways about it. It's just very easy. Um, Everything else though, really sad stuff. I I've said this to Lily a few times and also everyone probably, but like it's gone down since then, but it was like at overwhelmingly positive on Steam for a while, and I was like, uh, like what? Um, and a lot of the actual like critical reviews from critics were also pretty positive, and I felt crazy, but I am pretty confident most people just didn't get more than halfway through the game. Even then, though, I am kind of surprised that someone could come away from this like this is awesome.
I mean, if
Um,
I could, like, pinpoint one critical facet about, like, culture from that kind of experience, everyone has, like, a different, like, value assessment about what makes something good. Now, all of us, we're a bunch of nerds, and, as people who have played, like, hundreds of games, all like, over time, the more you are in a cultural space, the more you start to stipulate on the particularities of it that you like, you know? And for a lot of people, something like Demon School, something like a lot of these indie sort of revival RPGs, well, they're kinda just meeting the cultural metric of just being something that you can vibe in, and it's like, you're not wrong, and in their own way, even if it's, like, disappointing for taking games seriously as art, it for, like, that commercial approach, it meets their value assessment of being a thing that, like, you can just play and then, it's fine or whatever.
but see, I agree because I that was my stance that I thought too. But I'd really, when I think about the type of people who would say it's good, um,
Mhm.
they're the same people who would say like something like the opening to a JRPG is too slow and boring. or like they couldn't get through it. And this one is like you only do boring things for like 5 straight hours. And it's like really monotonous and exhausting in a way that it's like that's I think why I have the fundamental disconnect is it's like this is the standard gamer repellent formula basically. Like it's like if you started up Final Fantasy VI and then you only did random encounters, like like no going to a new map, no going to like getting items to equip different stuff on your people, or like getting a new party member that does a crazy thing like Edgar with his multi-tool, right?
Mhm.
Just doing the standard random encounter against goblins outside of the first town in Final Fantasy VI over and over for like 5 to 6 hours.
Huh.
I mean, I also think there is like a weird statistician's interest in this kind of thing where it's like, what is the opt-in bias of the kind of person who reviews these kinds of things?
Yeah,
And
sure.
what is like the kind of person who couldn't be asked to like leave a thumbs down or not just refund it and keep silent about it? It's
Yeah.
like let me put it this way, as offensive as this is to gaming as a medium, but bear with me. Think about the kind of demographical person who is leaving one-star reviews at fast food restaurants.
Yeah.
What kind of person do you need to be willing to do that? And I would feel like the more normal demographic would be the kind of person who would have that bad experience and just go, "Well, that fucking sucked," and then they'll just move on with their lives. 'Cause, like, I don't know, this isn't no offense, because again, still human beings made Demon School, like, I don't wanna offend the
Yeah,
people
no, and
making
like
it.
yeah,
Like, they clearly cared, and making
yeah,
anything is impressive,
absolutely.
but it's like this isn't like a tentpole release of the year, you know? Like a lot of
Yeah.
people, it was a thing to be excited about. I was excited for it, but if it was bad, it wasn't going to ruin my year. And I think for a lot of people, that default response is ambivalence. So you tend to see people on the two binary ends of extremity where their opinions are simply the ones felt the most strongly. I I think the funnier thing was like I think I linked you a Steam review where it was just like a guy being like, "Well, as long as it has chill vibes and funny dialogue that makes me exhale from nose every 15
Yeah.
or so
It
minutes."
was that fucking one that was just like the every NPC says, I like shorts, they're comfy and easy to wear. This is peak is like, oh my god. Ah.
Well, it's again, it shows like the value assessment between maybe the person leaving a Steam review with only 30 minutes worth of playtime is pretty different from someone willing to
Yeah.
write like a long form review.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the amount of long form reviews was what broke me in some degrees. Like I was like, looking up a bunch that were like 8 or 9 out of 10s, and I was like, man, okay.
I
But
mean, I also think that it's like it's just one of those things where you just kind of sit with it and you're like, I don't I don't think people are gonna remember this game in like 5
yeah.
years, if I'm just
Yeah,
being
definitely.
honest.
Unless they like do a bunch of work on it. I don't know. Who knows? We don't know what will happen. I've played so many indie games recently where it's like, hey, here's update 33 that once again completely rebalances X mechanic because I don't know the
Yeah,
slab portion for the craft.
I feel like even like as a creative, right? With indie development tools being as accessible as they are, people fall more and more often for like the fallacy of I need to keep polishing this one diamond in the hope that it becomes something perfect
Yeah,
instead of just like just
just move on and make a
do
new one.
do a new project a year.
Yep.
The first one can be bad. Just make 50 of them. It's not possible for all of them to be terrible.
Yeah, I think in this case, these developers' other games are very, very different beasts from this. So this was just kind of their first foray into trying with this stuff. And it's like I said in that review, not everything about it is bad. There's again mostly great ideas inside of it. It's just the execution that's the problem. So I think they could do it again as long as
Mhm.
they understand. Like that's always my concern with the whole universal praise thing is it's like please no you need to know what's wrong. You need
Yeah.
to know
Well,
what's wrong so it's not bad next time.
it's also like on some level, like even the positive reviews, the ones that you described as being like effusively positive, a lot of them were like, okay, listen, I know this marketed itself as a JRPG, but this is basically a puzzle game.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, yeah, if you take that entire perception and shift it, then yeah, maybe uh getting shot in the head is just brain surgery if I change my point of view. But you tried to sell me on like the Persona 2 vibes. You tried to sell me on the atmosphere of a JRPG. You can't just pivot to something else once it doesn't do its stated goal well.
Maverick has been saying stuff in the chat. I'll read some of the stuff that he's saying. Says, I'm pissed because the games I've been waiting on decided to play fair with this release success. And I've heard bubkiss about these aforementioned review juggernauts. And legitimately, the thing that made Hades so cool was the fact that it felt like a capstone to Supergiant's entire lifespan at this point, or at that point. It's why I'm kind of about Hades 2, because they've proven to be very up to play ball with trying new stuff.
Hades 2
I
is
go ahead.
reasonably fun. That's all I was gonna say. I was gonna say I need to get back and finish Hades 2 all the way, but there is this vibe of playing it and being like, I do kind of get why people were like, I wish Supergiant made something new, different, fully. But also, it's really interesting to play a super polished game that has like everything kind of to it and feels like an evolution of the previous one.
I just have such a hard time liking their games. And I know that's like a gasp-worthy opinion for some people, but so often the presentation of Supergiant games is so beautiful, and there's so much thought and craft put into the things they made. Like a couple years ago, I finally finished Pyre, and again, I rolled credits. I put my hands on my table, and then I said, "That was beautiful. I fucking hated it."
I,
And mm,
I was at the gameplay of Pyre and Transistor were both things I had big issues with. But then I do feel like almost like the Demon School reviewer for both of them, where I'm like, oh, but the aesthetic and vibes are great.
and that's like the thing. It's like how much can a beautiful thing be like the exoskeleton keeping like fetid garbage together, you know? And that's going to be different from person to person and game to game. Like how many
Yeah.
podcasts in a row have I ragged on fucking Sea of Stars? I don't think I can do
Yeah.
another one, but there you go. I'm going to point at it. I'm going to gesture at it like the sad
You
child in the
know,
corner.
there's one aspect I left out of my review because I just couldn't fit it in at the time. But I have to say, like, I think one of the big aspects is those Super Giant games are 5 to 10 hours long,
Mm.
and Demon School was 40.
Yeesh. A lot.
Well,
So
there's only so
that's a
long you
big
can stretch out a thing like that,
yeah.
especially when you yourself are acknowledging the padding. What are you
Yeah.
doing?
So it's like I think that's a big factor for me. Is it's like when you only have to spend X amount of time with it. Like even Hades 2, I know Hades 2, you could play that game for like 40 hours or something, right? But realistically, it's something you're going to play 20 to 30, I think, before you see most of it, like just by how it's structured and set up. So it's like even that Hades, a game you're supposed to play all the time, is shorter than this. So it's like I almost give it more of a it's not even I give it more grace, it's like it is able to exist within my window of grace way easier because it is shorter, and it's like, "Okay,
Well,
I don't have to
it's an
be mired in
odd
this."
it's an odd kind of in confidence in your writing to do something to be like, I know this is long, but because like, okay, this maybe be a really mean-spirited comparison, but it's like Borderlands. If you are doing something annoying and then you lampshade that it's really fucking annoying, isn't it? You're still annoying me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know you have too many encounters in this game that are nothing. You know better. Stop doing it.
Then just stop. You don't have to do it.
I thought it was really funny. I had a couple friends saying like, "Oh, I was playing this. We're only like a few hours in or whatever," and I was thinking it was getting kind of funny how they were making the joke of every time you go to the graveyard, a demon attacks you, and how the characters started joking about it. And I was like, "Yeah, you see, it's funny right now because that was the fourth time it's happened. Try time 38, and
Oh my
then see how
god.
funny it is that time."
It ain't. It ain't anymore.
But yeah, I didn't mean to mire in the Demon School review. I just was like, oh, I should do my due diligence, talk about it here. After I finished that, I immediately started playing Lone Fungus 2,
Okay.
Melody of Spores, which is a Mushroomvania, I believe the guy calls it, who made
Okay.
it. I 100%ed the original Lone Fungus. I really liked it. It's
Okay.
really a cute little game where you're a mushroom underground. Um, And this new one is more of a GBA Castlevania style game, so it's much smaller in scope. It has tighter hallways, a lot less platforming challenges, though it does still have the platforming challenges from the first game, but they're all optional things for one side quest that you turn on the map, basically. Um, but yeah, you have like a bunch of weapons like Castlevania, like you have the throwing axe, you have the knives, you have this holy water, etc. You have all that stuff. You have a bunch of other stuff too. You have a whip. You didn't have a whip in the last game, so it really is Castlevania. Um, it's just fun. It's nice to have the detox of like, oh, just a game that I can just, it has no it has no posturing that it's going to be an amazing story game or something like that. It's not even trying to be anything more than it is. Um, and it's just, it's really charming. I was having a lot of fun.
Good. Um, Lily, do we want to hop back to you? Maybe you do one more, and then Rose, you do one more, and then we can hit some news. Maybe.
Sure.
Sure.
Go ahead.
Uh, I so for my birthday this year, a friend of mine, because I am like a huge fan of Final Fantasy VI, Final Fantasy III, if you were born in Hamburger.
Ugh.
Um, so I got the Pixel Remaster. I have some notes.
Okay.
It is just the letter A written like 54 times, but we'll start unpacking that. Um, so because I'm a maniac, I have been playing it and the original at the same time.
Oh wow. Double gaming.
So vacillating back and forth. And I think the thing that offended me the most, because like, okay, we live in a time of HD 2D remasters, and I want to preface, I am not a Luddite. I think those can do cool things. I think they can be interesting. Why is there a graphics setting in your game that says classic graphics, and all it does is put the worst CRT filter I have ever seen on the screen?
That's just what it was like, and you used to just see the world like that back in the day.
Yeah, back before we invented proper lenses, we were all just sitting there with vaguely bulging, blurry vision. And I just remember like, because like again, there is this kind of thing that I think comes from a game becoming a classic, where it almost starts believing like in its own hype. almost, where like with the music in its orchestration, it goes so big that it almost fails to capture like the spirit of the original. Like it would be like if they took Pokemon Red and completely redid the soundtrack with all like symphonic instrumentation, even if that doesn't match maybe the kind of whimsical spirit of the opening hours of that game.
I mean, they kind of did that with the Let's Go remakes, but um, I don't know. I mean, I get what you mean, but I don't know. They've remade Pokemon Red and Blue twice now, and both times. I mean, Fire Red and Leaf Green's soundtrack is okay, and yeah, Let's Go is okay. I wouldn't say either of them are like incredible.
But what I mean
I'm sorry. I'm
predominantly
sorry.
is like
I got the the Pokemon brainworms hit me. I'm sorry. Yeah, I
no,
get
it's
what you
okay, it
mean though. I
happens.
get what you mean. I get what you mean.
Like back when they made that game, they maybe didn't have like the pre-assertion that it was like maybe one of the most important franchises ever. Back when they made Final Fantasy VI, well, like it was just an RPG on the console, and obviously they did as good as they could with it, and they wanted to tell like a pretty big story. But um the music, especially like compared to the originals, which are in the game, you can toggle them back and forth, and I have been doing that. I just feel kind of odd about them because like okay, so take like Terra's theme, like the overworld theme. It to me has always carried this like vibe of being like somber, sad, but knowing that you kind of got to carry on anyway. The new orchestration is like too triumphant,
Hmm.
and it captures a completely different spirit as a result. And lest I get like completely like lost in the weeds, I I do have a bit of like a shock, especially coming off of something like Trails. And I know this defines like early Final Fantasy, but every bit of dialogue is so terse and so utilitarian in those games.
That's every JRPG before like 1997 maybe is like that. And even
Mhm.
then, and even then.
Well, it's like okay, like like the goggles that JRPG haters have, where like they talk about like the incongruities and characters just like talking like brain damaged automatons. There's only so many times where like you can talk to the same town guard and he will just go welcome to the town. And that's all they have to say between him and his six identical twin brothers.
I really think that games like Final Fantasy, for as much as I like it, and Pokemon have broken people's brains in terms of talking to NPCs. And Pokemon got better about it over time,
Mhm.
honestly, by having, better NPC dialogue and stuff like that. But you play all those early games and you talk to people and they are just, like you said, the automaton who just says things that like
Yeah.
people didn't know, like when they play a Dragon Quest game, for example, that you're supposed to talk to people, right? Like,
Mhm. And it's also again, it's like always relevant not to the characters but to you the player. Like walking up to an old man and having him go, the harpies in the mountains are weak to lightning, and it's like, why are you telling me that? Who are you?
Yeah, for sure, for sure. They definitely figured out how to actually have flavor in text like that now. Stands out a bit, but yeah.
Well, I think it's so interesting, especially when you compare like the loquaciousness of modern Final Fantasy back to this. And it's again, it's interesting to watch that like cultural mutation take place where now the expectation is that you should care so much about these characters. And especially, again, like something like Trails, just talking to a random NPC might give you like an enlightening position on what your party members believe
Mhm.
rather than Tara just kind of dead-eyed like staring into this old man's eyes where he's just like, I love cider. I don't
Maverick
know what to feel
Maverick
about
do,
that.
Maverick does bring up a good point though, is that Pokemon from the start did have the technology's incredible fat guy in the first town every single time, and
Every single
that
time.
is
That's true.
important. Needs to be a fat
Because
guy who's excited about technology in the first town. Love that guy.
because again, listen, that man just exists in everyone's hometown. It's
That's true.
just a universal constant.
True. That's true. Cider guy is also real as hell. Yeah, you're right, Maverick. Like it's true, but yeah, if we're talking about Trails, I wanna be able to go up to him later in the game and have him be like, you know what? Had some
The cider.
real
What if
good
he's
cider
like
last
the
week.
cider shipments? They've been stopped due to the situation. I'm
Yes,
devastated.
yes. That's what happens
Actually,
in Trails. Like literally,
Yeah.
like you go into the shops and when they're like, I just got finished with the like second town where I like the Sky Pirates and all that. Um, And so, while the Sky Pirates are like out and about, they've closed down a bunch of the shipping routes. So like all the shopkeepers are like, "Yeah, our shops aren't doing great." And then you wrap that up and they're all like, "We're good now. Yay, we're getting supplies in." So it's like it's nice. It's not like incredible stuff, but it's a nice little
It
moment
will
where,
get incredible stuff, I'll tell you what.
yeah.
well, like I think here's the thing, and like this is like a huge discussion. You could make like a whole podcast about this particular thing I'm about to say, but like people complain because they go into JRPGs with a specific kind of like mindset. When you play like Baldur's Gate stuff like computer RPGs, the way that game respects your agency and the consequence of your actions is by, well, the stuff you actually like materially choose to do. When you choose to like, I don't know, kill the council in Mass Effect, it barely affects things, but you do have the option to do it.
Hmm.
Whereas you compare it to something like Trails, where maybe you don't get choices, but the game takes your actions with so much gravitas on literally everything. So you are kind of incentivized to care more because your actions actually do things instead of the guy in the starter village just saying welcome to the starter village for the entire game like he just welcomed you into EB Games.
I mean, we joked around about the guy, but genuinely though, like the guy in the at the beginning where you talk to him in every Pokemon game usually gives you like a quick like little quip about something that has changed technologically in the games, like mostly just like how the PC works. He'll be like in the first game, I think he was just like, "Oh, it's cool that you can put your Pokemon in storage," and then like by the time they were like, "Oh, you could just like access your PC wherever now." Like that's what Homeboy was talking about. Like dude was like, "Yeah, you could just log on. You don't have to go up to a computer anymore. Your Pokemon are just in the menu." It's like, "Yeah, it is. Technology's fucking incredible. You're so right, man." Like
We got cloud storage now, baby.
yeah, good. So that's like, yeah, that's the kind of stuff where it's like if it's done well, then it's actually nice and useful and good for information. But yeah, when it's just like there are capes in the shop now.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's what I mean about, like, I think like Final Fantasy is the problem because it trains people to not talk to NPCs because they realize that it's just that bit. But like Dragon Quest does a great job. I don't like Dragon Quest. Okay, so I have to mean this in my
Oh
heart when I
yeah.
say this. Dragon Quest actually does that like really well, right? Where it's like not only do they teach you to talk to NPCs because they're going to say something funny, you also have to talk to them to know where to go or what's
Mhm.
going on in this specific location. And that's kind of the strength of Dragon Quest is every town is a distinct place where things are happening as a bit. And it's like Square Enix didn't localize most of those Dragon Quest games for a while, so there was no like real middle ground meeting spot. And
Yeah.
what's the alternative? Fantasy Star? You're gonna play fucking Fantasy Star? Get real.
I mean, maybe eventually.
Still, you gotta go to every town and uh like point in on what the perv character is. Playing Dragon Quest X, you need to find in every town there is one lecherous grandpa that will tell you how he's like, I fucking love bunny girls.
Yep.
Rubs hands together. Could you make your party member look like a bunny for me?
Makes me
Yes,
sick.
yes, I can, Grandpa, but do I want to? Rose, how about you? What else you got cooking?
Yeah, a bunch of things that I've played a little bit of.
Do you want to hit some like quick?
Yeah, I'll do like a rapid fire for
Sure.
a few of these
Okay.
that I've only played a little while. So I started up Metroid Prime 4.
Okay.
Um, I have seen a lot of negative buzz from people who have blasted through it already, and I believe that they're probably saying the truth. Um, I love me Metroid Prime 1. I like Metroid Prime 2 quite a bit also. Metroid Prime 3 I could take or leave. And this game is Metroid Prime 3 2. So,
Okay. I
um
see.
it is very resoundingly fine. It runs crazy good on the Switch 1 is something I have to point out. It
Huh.
looks very good and it runs at like almost a locked 60 all the
Damn.
time, which makes me feel crazy, but that remaster of Prime also did that. So I
It was
guess it's
good,
not that
yeah.
surprising that they had that tech ready from doing that exercise in the new engine.
Mhm.
Um but yeah, it's those NPCs are not completely unbearable. They're pretty annoying, but they're not like this isn't Other M, is what I
Mhm.
should say. Like I don't even mind Other M's gameplay loop that much, but Other M does have the core problem of like you are constantly being interrupted by walking into a room and then a cutscene just starts playing that's really long and they're just talking and talking and then they go, Samus, you're allowed to use the missile cannon now, or whatever. And it's just like, okay. This is not like that. This is more like, hey, you enter some rooms like Metro Prime 3, and then a cutscene happens, and then a guy follows you around and is just kind of annoying.
Right.
I mean,
Yeah.
I I think the funniest part about it, based on the cutscenes I've seen, is like people just talk at Samus,
She
and
doesn't
she
say
just
a
like
damn thing.
she like locks up like someone asked her what her order was at the deli line when she wasn't expecting it.
She thinks she's so tough, is how I feel. Like she's just like, real men don't have have problems. We're disaffected and cool. Um, But yeah, it is very odd because they talk so much and then they also just accept that Samus isn't going to say anything. Which perhaps does solve in part of the problem of Other M, where Samus then cuts to an inner monologue where she's like,
The
"Oh, I
baby.
remember when Ridley attacked my parents. It was a son." Um,
There was a really good like rambly article that I read about Prime 4, and I'm not gonna like let it like color my judgment because I do want to try it eventually and all that. But something that they pointed out was like that Samus being silent for the most part can be used really well, and it's like there's been a few games where they've done that really well. Like one of them was it Prime 1 where she like just silently looks out over like a bunch of
yeah, at the
devastation.
end of the game, yeah.
Yeah, but then also they use her speaking to great effect too. Like the most recent one was in Dread, where she's going around this area and she finally meets a Chozo, and the Chozo is like kind of telling her what needs to be done and is like also worried about her and stuff. And then Samus speaks to him in Chozo, and like he reacts very like proudly and like is like, yes, let's do this, kind of, like it's you can use that well to be like, yeah, my silent protagonist doesn't talk that much, but they definitely put her in a bunch of situations where it's just like she's just she's just not reacting to things instead of just being silent. It's like she's just like
She
she
gets
doesn't know she's
psychic
there.
powers and then
Yeah,
just doesn't say anything about it. I, uh,
I don't know.
yeah, I think like there's a lot of problems with this game from like a fundamental standpoint of like it doesn't feel like they wanted to make a Metroid game like in that way. Like Dread is a great example of people wanting to make a Metroid game and
Yes.
fucking making a Metroid game. I'm gonna tell you, I
Yes.
really like Dread
I
a
like Dread as
lot.
well. Yes. Great.
That ending to Dread is like chef's kiss,
We're talking.
perfect.
If we're talking about edge lord shit, yeah,
Yeah, that's what it's all about, baby.
yeah,
And the psychic powers in this one are funny. She does just do the revolver ocelot hand gesture all the time, because she's doing she holds it up or whatever and does like the thing. But then every time you look down, she does the like handgun, lowers her finger to point, so it just looks like she's doing revolver ocelot over and over again as you're walking around the world, and it takes me out every time. Yeah, like exactly, like it's just like boom. Uh,
I can
but
imagine anything.
she doesn't fucking say anything, so it's weird. But I have internalized it as she doesn't like these people as much as I don't like them. So uh, she's just trying to get through work today and go home.
yeah.
Um,
That's definitely like a funny concept. Where it's just like these are just my shitty coworkers. I don't care about. Like, okay,
yeah,
whatever.
I I want to say a strong point before I start complaining again. The boss fights have all been quite good. I've done like
Okay.
5 boss fights at the point where I'm at, and they all have fun mechanics, multi phases, using the mechanics of the new things in a new way. Like they have the thing from Assassin's Creed where you control an arrow's trajectory that they had in those more recent Assassin's Creed games. And they have that with a beam where it basically slows down time and you control a beam and it has 3 shots and it can go through things. So you like, the first major boss is a giant Deku Baba style plant thing. And it has like it gets to the point where it has like 3 tentacles and you like shoot through it and control it as it slides through walls and goes through all the weak points all at once or whatever. And it's
Fun.
just fun. It's like, okay, this is engaging. There's a fight against Silex where they want you to turn into the morph ball so it goes into a top-down perspective, and then he's like fucking drill sliding like a tornado around everywhere, and you just have to
Pretty
like set
cool.
up bombs to hit him. Yeah, it's like these things are fun. Um Unfortunately, like I said, I don't think they wanted to make a Metroid game because it's so linear that it blows my and I like linear games, okay?
Yeah,
But
but
Metroid
that's not
Prime is a
Metroid.
linear game also. Like, yeah, exactly. But it's like a Metroidvania is a linear game to a certain degree, even though you explore a lot because you have defined areas you go through in paths. Like you
Yeah.
have options at times, like a Dark Souls, the same way. Like you have area A or area B, right? But you are going to area A or area B at that specific time of the game. So there's like a flow to it. This is just you go from area A, you go to area B, you go to area C. You go back to area A to get the backtracking stuff from the power ups you got in area C. Like that's all you do. Whereas like Metroid Prime as an example, you go to the magma caverns pretty quick and then you leave them pretty quickly because you're not doing stuff there yet. Like all the way. You're not going through the whole zone yet. Here it's more like you're doing half of it and then you'll do half later for everything, and the other half is usually just power up stuff. Um, and it doesn't feel like as interesting as it was in the other Metroids because it's like to give you an example, in Metroid Prime when you land on the first planet, immediately when you go to the right, there is a stupid fucking half pipe for the morph ball boost ball that you can
Right.
see
Right.
and you can go, oh, look
What's
at this
that gonna
thing, and then you
be?
see like a thing. Yeah, exactly. Here it takes like an hour and a half before you even see anything, and it's just if you scan a robot, it says like if you had an electric beam, you could turn this robot on, and that's it. Like
Hmm.
you collect every other power up all the way. It's not until you get to the second area really where you see like I think you need the boost ball and they don't have the boost ball, but it's like they let you do half of a puzzle to get into the situation where you go, "Oh, I need the boost ball," and then you leave, and it's just like, okay, I this isn't this doesn't like wax my sense of adventure. It feels like so mechanically put together, like it has to be this way. And I think that's really lame. The
Y-
open world is also really boring. I only did a little of it, but really,
Yeah.
really dull. Really, really. I'm
There's like
glad more and
nothing
more
to
people
it
are saying, yeah,
from what
exactly.
I've
I'm
seen.
glad more people are understanding Breath of the Wild ruined everything forever. I'm glad they're realizing that we are in a dark world because it's not even Breath of the Wild's fault. It's like, you know, a million open world games before it, but it is the thing that fucked up with Nintendo's brain, and now they're like, because John,
Yes,
we love Xenoblade Chronicles 3,
I
and
do.
that has a lot of wide open spaces. But the difference of the wide open spaces is as you traverse the wide open spaces, you get to, little hub towns or beautiful vistas that
There's things
are
to look
really
at. There's
cool.
things to do. There's different
Yeah.
quests that you can go on. You can run
There's
into
compelling
enemies, and
enemies to engage with that are tough or, you get materials from.
there are fast travel options if you so choose,
Uh-huh.
perhaps, instead of having to ride your stupid ass cycle in dead
In
silence.
silence. Unless you paid $30 for
You
the
paid $30
amiibo.
fucking dollars for it.
Do you know what's incredible? I don't know. You probably saw this, but did you see the thing where a bunch of people were trying to say that you can actually unlock the music for the bike separately,
And it's
and
just
they were
not
claiming
true,
like
right?
it's not true. It's like, oh, if you get 100% scan rate, you can do it, and it's like, but you can't carry over 100% scan rate, so there's no way you could confirm that that's true. So it's not true. Ah.
I think they might have
Yeah,
heard that you get something that you can unlock with an amiibo by doing
and they
100%
thought the
skin.
Silex thing.
Yeah, it's with the
Yeah.
Silex amiibo because it unlocks like his backstory or whatever that you get.
Ugh.
Which again, like yeah, you're paying like $30 to get story, but also like that's kind of just like a thing with Metroid Prime where it's like yeah, if you get the 100%, you get the extra cutscene that sets up the other
Yeah.
games, which sure, whatever. But then that they're also like, but you can get it early if you buy the amiibo. Like
Yeah, I love linear things, but this is like bad linear. This is like Xbox 360 story in quotation
yes,
marks driven game linear. Um and I just don't get it. Cuz it's
it's a
like
bummer.
the open world, right? It just feels like they made it like that because oh, well, we have a giant
They
map
have
where you
to.
can go wherever, and it's like but you don't go wherever in that world. You just fucking go to the crystals and get the crystal. Ah. I'm scared of it. I'm scared of it, but I also know it's only like 15 hours long, so again, better than Demon School.
Yeah, I again that same article. I should maybe actually shout the person out. Thought in guy. Yeah. Ah, here it is. It's Hoshi Zoralone on Blue Sky. Wrote a post that was called "Fuck Everything Breath of the Wild ruined gaming forever."
Yeah.
So, I guess
Yeah,
there's some
I'm
overlap there.
saying like
Yeah, which is extremely spoiler heavy, but yeah, everything that I read about that is like, yeah, that sounds kind of rough. I don't know, cause yeah, I've only played Prime 1 so far. I do want to play the other ones. I do want to get around to this eventually, but this definitely sounds like it is easily the weakest of the franchise, and that is a huge bummer. Like everyone being like, oh, it's an 80 on Metacritic. It's like sounds like it's like
it
honestly, if
sounds
this
like it might be worse.
yeah, this sounds like a lot of people maybe rated it higher because they were scared they were going to get yelled at by Metroid fans before they played this, and then realized that it wasn't that good.
I mean,
So,
I will say like a big factor of it, and I think this is part of why it reviews well, is it looks and sounds really good. Like the play feel is all there. Like genuinely it is a well put together thing. It's just and sometimes that's enough for people. Like it really can be just like, hey, this is an expensive looking game on the Switch, which, you know, isn't an expensive looking game on any other console, obviously, but it is still like when you play the average Switch game and or especially a Switch port, and then you play Metroid Prime 4 at 60 FPS and everything looks shiny and cool,
mhm.
it you know, it comes across as like, oh,
And I mean, like, I'm sure the gameplay itself is good. It's just the like structure around it is the real issue, from what I'm
yeah.
seeing. Just
It it just it's so basic. It's so basic and it's like this entry 4 is where we're getting basic. Like the first one is maybe well, I would say March for Prime 2 is probably the most complex one out of all of them easily. Like that's the one that has all the different weird mechanics and alternate world puzzling, but like 3 is a pretty basic game, but like the idea that this series gets less complex over time when it's not even that complex to begin with at its core is fucking crazy.
I genuinely do wonder, how, you know, I'm sorry for doing this here, but like I really feel like it's in a similar boat to Time Stranger, where this was a game that was in development for so goddamn long that at a certain point they probably just got an internal thing that was like, you need to wrap this up, and they just kind of stapled some things on to make it longer, to make it feel like there's more to it, and it's like, it would have been better if they just polished what was there instead of shoving an open world in, or shoving in a bunch of side quests at the end, or
I
all that stuff.
I mean, we also know that next level games probably just made the open world that they have grafted onto this whole thing. Uh and it just strikes me as like, hey, our internal studio is making a Metroid Prime 4. Who knows what the fuck that was about? We send it over to Retro and they're like, well, we had these ideas for this thing we were going to do
Well,
in
no,
Federation Force.
it wasn't internal. It was fucking like Bandai Namco. They like outsourced
Oh,
it to
that's
Bandai
right.
Namco. Yeah, which like is kind of crazy. But yeah, they were like, we aren't happy with what they're doing, and then they brought it over to Retro. But then the thing was that Retro was doing the remake for Prime, so they had to finish that, get that out, and then make Metroid Prime 4. That was kind of just dropped onto their lap. Like, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm sure that they, wanted to do it to some extent,
Yeah,
but
but
yeah, it seems like a complete mess. I mean, what I'm really saying is like, similar to how I feel with Time Stranger. It's like I am curious about what the next one, if there is one, will be like, but also I feel a little less like interested in that, just because like, I don't know, like it seems like of how gaming trends are. I'm less, like it's sort of like there's so many other ways that I guess this could go wrong for a sequel, is more what I mean.
it's a damn mess.
Bummer.
It's okay. I'm not as heartbroken or anything as other people because it's like I still carry that love of that light of Metroid Dread from
Yeah.
a few years ago. Like that was fucking great.
Yeah, if Metroid is back and they're just like, yeah, Mercury Steam, just make us a 2D Metroid every once in a while, like, I mean, I'll take that. I really like 2D Metroid. That's fine. Still a bummer.
I'm also hoping that this and the combination of the less effusive praise for Tears of the Kingdom means that Nintendo, because I mean we already have that Eiji Aonuma quote like a week after release where he's like, "Never mind, that's not the future of Zelda anymore.
Yeah.
Never mind." Uh, and then like I
Yeah.
hope that this is the one that's like, okay, that open world was
Get up.
probably made like 5 years ago, right? But it's like still like a damning confirmation of no, people do not want that. People do not want that at all.
Okay. Well, yeah, exactly. It's that's what I'm saying. It's just like, we'll see what happens if and when they make another one, but I guess it's just, the thing is that because it's Metroid Prime, it's one of those things where it's just like, who fucking knows if and when, like, whenever, like, they'll probably do another one, but who knows when that'll be? If it'll be 10 fucking years from now, who knows, So I don't know. It's just like, all right, the news. We've got two big bad pieces of news that I think we can kind of hop in on, to just go for it. First off, this isn't a finished deal or anything like that, but there is the Warner Brothers has been entertaining buyout offers for a good while, and the current supposedly agreed upon here is that Netflix has announced that they are going to be purchasing Warner Brothers for $82.7 billion, which saying that made my like eye water a little bit for how angry that makes me. Um, they are planning on spinning off channels like CNN and TNT, and there will be regulatory scrutiny and all that. So there, this is again not something that is set in stone. You know, there's going to be a bunch of regulatory, you know, parts of the government that are going to go over this government and Europe's government. Um, I'm sure that there isn't going to be too much pushback from the U.S. government because what it is, but fingers crossed that Europe maybe steps in to stop this. There are some other crazy ass aspects about it because apparently, Paramount is like saying they're gonna try to like forcibly acquire Warner Brothers before Netflix can finalize it, which is insane. I don't really know how that works exactly, but they're just like, yeah, we're gonna swoop in and do it before they can. Um, it seems like a complete and total mess. Um, and this does also include video games because Netflix did say that if this goes through, they are going to uh own the Warner Brothers games aspect as well. Um,
Which is what, NetherRealm and
in like Rocksteady and
does
Traveler's Tales.
Rocksteady exist still? I'm
Yep,
surprised. Okay.
it does. So there's like a few bits to it, but I mean, like, you know, it's not like a shit ton. But I mean, they own the rights to a lot of stuff. Is the thing. Those things where it's like, yeah, you know, like they have NetherRealm and Traveler's Tales and Rocksteady, and that, but then it's like, but they have the rights to all the DC superheroes. They have the rights to like fucking, you know, like I don't think they have Lord of the Rings, but
Got
you know,
Bugs Bunny.
yeah, they got Bugs Bunny. They got The Sopranos. They can't make a sequel to that PS2 Sopranos game,
They have Steven Universe.
Steven's Universe. Um, it's a fucking mess. A fucking um. I mean, I forget who said it, but some one of my friends, or no, it wasn't a friend. It was someone on Blue Sky. I think said like, I can only hope that if this goes through, that you know that this is as successful for Netflix as it has been for the last few people who have owned Warner Brothers. So you know,
I can't wait to see Sub-Zero Fatality Pearl from Steven Universe.
It could
I
have
mean,
always happened
yeah, I
if
mean,
the world was, more pure.
We
We could have.
get even bigger, even shittier multiverses.
yeah, I was gonna say like that did almost happen in Multiverses. Like they just didn't get to finish
It,
the Mortal Kombat
you're gonna get
characters.
multiverses, but it looks like the Angry Video Game Nerd 8-bit games, and it has the Stranger Things guy.
Yeah.
I'm glad we live in like the Shadowrun corporate warfare era of late stage capitalism. That's really great.
Not
Um,
great. I hate it.
yeah, we'll see how this shakes out. But for now, it's just one of those things where like the process has been announced to be planned, but there's a lot of stuff going through. I think it's not going to be until like late next year that if this goes through,
Yeah.
that will be.
I think the real dark-sided part of all this also was the fact that people were saying what Netflix is taking a $58 billion loan out to do the whole thing, and that's like the biggest loan a media company has ever taken ever for obvious reasons because that's an obscene amount of money. And how it's just like, cool, more fake money that isn't real, just existing to
Yeah.
allegedly accomplish something.
That yeah, if they can't pay it back, like there's like a 90% chance that they're just gonna be like, all right, who cares, whatever, because that's just
Yep.
how these things go. Like yeah, that's just made up money that they don't actually have to pay, and then meanwhile regular people have to pay for their life, you know. So Anyway, speaking of fake things, yeah, like Maverick said, want cheaper rent, dog.
Mm-hmm.
But speaking of fake things, Micron, who is one of like three creators of like memory chips and like RAM and stuff like that, announced that they are going to be getting out of the consumer business, which basically just means that they are no longer going to be selling like RAM and memory and the like to average people, because they are just going to sell it all directly to AI data centers. Which I mean, there's probably some kind of like business reason why that makes sense right this second. But I'm just like sitting here thinking that that is the dumbest fucking thing I've ever heard in my entire life, and they might as well just say, "Hey, yeah, we want to shut down in like 3 years. We want to have
Yeah,
no money in 3 years. We want to just be broke." That's
that's the average tech company, to be honest. This
yeah.
is the entire thing, but yeah.
I mean, I get so tired from repeating the same talking points like every time like an AI thing is mentioned, but it really is just the biggest possible indictment of like the tech space and of this kind of need to have like some new cutting edge thing that you can sell when you just haven't had ideas in the past 20 years.
I mean, just like in this specific instance, like like I brought it up in like in the Discord of us talking about it, and like Crystal replied with something that made some sense, but like it's just still just so fucking stupid, just like on a basic level to me. Where yeah, let me see where I said it. Oh yeah, it's just I mean, because consumers want low prices while AI businesses are willing to write blank checks at this time. Yeah, like it's that whole fake money bullshit. But again, like it's just one of those things where it's like, why are you just saying we're not going to have this option open still? Like I guess they're just funneling everything into one. Like it's again, it's such a cliche thing to say. Don't put all your eggs in one basket, dog. They are just dumping fucking eggs into this shitty basket that is falling apart in front of everybody, and everyone's just kind of like, put some in my fucking basket. Maybe some of it'll actually, maybe the eggs won't crack if they go into my fucking basket. But no, no, it's all in the bad basket that is going to fall on the ground and break and be like, what? Huh?
Who could have seen this coming?
What the heck? Yeah, it's stupid and it's bad, and we don't have to say it over and over and over again, because but yeah, I guess, yeah, the real news here is we're just getting out in front to say yeah, Micron will no longer sell anything in a few years. That is the news. They are going to shut down as a business because AI is going to crash, and they're stupid. Um yeah. um let's see here. I mean, got more news here. I mean, some of it's like sad, some of it is good, and some of it's just bad in a way that's not sad, but more just like, what the fuck is going on. You know what? Here, I'll start with this one. Um or I'll just do this one, then we can talk about more of what y'all have been playing. Um Folks, a trailer has leaked, and some people are not sure if it's AI or not. But a trailer for Shenmue 4 has leaked that may be being shown at the Game Awards. Um, it's really funny because I totally understand why people are saying that it might be AI, and that is because that is just kind of how Shenmue 3 looked. So I get it. But I mean, it's a whole 4-minute long trailer, and it looks pretty legit. Like it's not like those AI videos where it's just like, a shot of like something moving, and then they have to make another shot of something. You know what I mean? Like it looks pretty legit. Um, so we may be seeing a trailer for Shenmue 4 at the Game Awards. Um, I remember when Shenmue 3 got announced, and that was a big fucking deal, and people were screaming and hollering. Uh, I don't think that's gonna be how people react to Shenmue 4.
I don't know who's funding Shenmue 4. That's how I feel when I hear this. Is like the people
They're
saw
not doing a
Shenmue 3 and they were
Kickstarter
like,
for this one, like,
I well,
or
we
are
don't know
they?
that.
Oh
Let's
my
be real. We
god,
don't know. We don't know for sure. But I
they're
don't
they're
know
not gonna
the
make it.
person who sees Shenmue 3 and goes, "More, please."
I
I
can't
trust
imagine who the
Vision.
fuck is gonna give to that Kickstarter if they do it. Like, what are you
Uh,
talking about?
that's what Micron is diverting all those funds for.
Oh, okay. So again, they're not gonna exist in a couple. Okay, like
They need Ryu to avenge his father. It needs to happen. It'll be the seminal tale of a generation when we get to Shenmue Part 8.
When I saw that boy in a forklift, I knew by God I wasn't gonna send RAM to the consumer.
yeah, I don't get it. Is
Well, they were like, Shenmue was the most expensive game ever made at the time, and they're gonna make Shenmue 4 the new.
yes, exactly.
Could you imagine Shenmue 4 costing more than like GTA 6 to make?
Okay, now that's the good timeline. If we were in a
Yeah,
good timeline, that we would be on Shenmue 8, and it would be at that point. I think maybe
here's
good
what I'll
timeline's a strong word.
yeah, the better
The
marginally.
the bad things that happen are entertaining timeline.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, the fun timeline.
Do you think that the statue in the desert is for Shenmue 4?
Yeah,
uh,
you know what? He's gonna summon a demon. He's gonna do like the it's gonna do like the Undertaker's move on him at the end of the game because he learned that somehow from the Undertaker.
What the wrestler?
Yeah, I mean those games are all about learning weird moves and then doing them, right? Like so it's like I'm just picturing like if it's hell, it's demons. He
He's gonna do the tombstone pile driver on the
Yeah,
fucking bad
exactly.
guy.
That's what I
All
was
right.
picturing. I couldn't remember the name.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
Rio finds an old man in a shack, and it's just a
And he looks really
photorealistic
old.
photo scan of a washed-up wrestler.
He
I mean,
goes
yeah,
to the island from
that is the
WWE
Undertaker right now. That
2K5.
is true. So yeah, that would be who you if you're meeting the Undertaker right now, you would be meeting a washed up wrestler. That is him right now. Um, I say that as somebody who as a kid really liked the Undertaker. Bro is
He
not doing.
tombstones people.
I mean, he does, but the evil has. All right, I'll just.
Oh
Um,
yeah, that's for damn sure.
but yeah, I don't know. Here one last bit of new Sega news, Sega related news. And then we'll move on there because I did just realize this here. Um, are you familiar with Segagaga?
Yes, I remember Segagaga.
Lily, are you aware of Segagaga?
Uh, my knowledge base is incomplete. Could you provide more information?
I will do so. I would have anyway, but no. Segagaga was a late release Dreamcast game that was never translated to English, never brought out of Japan, because it was basically a short-ish RPG game that was done in secret by some devs at Sega as pretty much a we know we're all fucked, but this is just how we're going through it game. They were just sort of dealing with the fact that they knew that the Dreamcast wasn't going to be successful enough for them to keep making consoles, and it was just how they processed it. was by making an RPG about Sega and about how much they love Sega and about how much of a fucking mess Sega is. And so this was a game that was kind of a fan translation white whale for a really long time. I'm not 100% sure why people seem to just not really be able to translate it or, hack it in a way and put it in. I'm sure that there's, plenty of people who can explain that far better than I could. But it seems as though, according to a post on the Dreamcast Dreamcast-talk.com forums, by user Existence, is saying, yeah, we are almost done with a Segagaga fan translation. I'll just read this post here. Unfortunately, the project's almost finished. It means that my days of Segagaga are coming to an end, and I'll be moving my focus towards getting a couple Saturn projects to the finish line. I'll explain more on the project's README, but the short version is that this project has been a real source of joy for me over the past year. Mentioned some launch goodies in my last post, and the big one is a complete recreation of the game's manual. So they have also translated and touched up the graphics for the manual as well. So they even took translated screenshots for the manual too. That's really cool. That's a lot of effort. Segagaga is a very dense game, especially the sim portion. Having a translated manual will help players understand what to do. Beyond that, the team has been preparing all the ancillary items necessary to actually release the patch. Next post will be the link to the patch repo. They are very close to being done. There's not an actual timeline per se, but yeah, Segagaga is on the way. That's fucking crazy. One of those people have been asking for this for 20 years now, and it's at the finish. So
You got that in the freaking Splatter World translation.
That's
too,
right. Yeah,
that's coming out soon.
It's out. I actually played it.
Oh, it's out. Nice.
Yeah, the Splatter World translation is out. Yeah, which I don't think I don't know if we talked about it on here, but yeah, there was a canceled Famicom Splatterhouse RPG that was basically just like a sequel to the Chibi Splatterhouse game that they put out on the Famicom. I don't remember what it was called specifically. Unpaku Graffiti. And yeah, that didn't even release. But I think on Halloween, it got leaked on 4chan or something, like a build of it, and some folks translated it, and yeah, the translation is out there. I downloaded that and I played a little bit of it. It's cute. It's an NES RPG, but it's really cute, and the translation definitely adds a lot to it. It's a very good translation. I absolutely adore when you every time you get into a battle, it says they're here with a tilde. That's so cute. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Very cool. Very cool. That exists. That is playable and it's out there for people to actually check out. And that's gonna be the case for in Segagaga at any minute now. Sega fucking Gaga. I remember being in middle school and finding out about that and being like, oh, I want to play that. And it's now I'm 31 years old and I'm gonna be able to fucking play Segagaga. Oh, that's crazy. I'm stoked. I mean, I don't know. That game might suck ass, but I don't know. There's a great chance that game is gonna be real bad, but it's gonna be out there. It's real. So I just want to be able to decide for myself. Right. Lily, hit us with something.
So, fairly recently, Nuclear Throne had its 10-year anniversary. If you're not familiar, Nuclear Throne is the game that makes me a giant soggy hypocrite. Because I have famously said that I am not a roguelike enjoyer, but I make an exception for some Nuclear Throne. So I've been playing Nuclear Throne lately. Uh, so the funny thing is, I think I said to a friend where it was like, because my hypocrisy was noted, and it was like me sitting there playing that game is such like a funny time capsule because I literally haven't played that game since I like was initially playing it like a lot. And not to be like too like misty-eyed about it, but like playing that game was the period in my life where I met John.
Hi.
Like that was when that happened.
A while ago.
So
70 years ago.
Yeah.
so like just having this game suddenly be like relevant to play again, like there's more stuff in the game. It felt like really strange, especially because in the way that cosmic events tend to, I was playing my own music at the same time, and the same dang songs that I've been listening to for that time period came
Aw.
up on the shuffle, and I was like, "Oh my god, I'm in like 2016 again." But the major changes aren't like super duper noticeable or huge. It was like some rebalancing. They added a new character. They added the shitty idiot ball baby whose television you can blow up and make him cry. His name is Cuz, and his entire moveset is that he's a big stinky baby who cries, and he generates cry gauge when he gets hurt. So he's basically a Binding of Isaac character.
I was gonna say, yeah, this sounds like the Binding of Isaac.
But it's really funny because again, a big thing, I was actually talking to a couple other friends about this earlier, where a big reason why roguelikes don't work for me is because they're based on like basically a promise. The second to second gameplay of this game may not be fun, but we promise if your build is good, it could be fun later.
Yeah.
And that's how they get you, because they are kind of generating an intentionally manufactured discontent. Because every time you get a bad run, you're like, oh well, I gotta play again. Might get a good run in. And that always struck me as not actively deceptive. I'm not like condemning the genre of roguelikes with that, but it is a ingrained behavior that I notice not only in myself but in other people I see who play them. The reason why Nuclear Throne doesn't particularly hit that same problem for me is because on like a primary level, it's got some roguelike elements, like roguelite elements. You unlock new characters, you get new stuff, you get modifiers and mutators, but none of that changes the core gameplay that is really good. It's basically a bullet hell. To play Nuclear Throne well, you kind of need to play it like Marissa in her shitty big hat. And that, like playing a bullet hell is way more entertaining to me than the average like pick 3 video game, you know?
So, yeah, I mean, so when was the last time you actually played? Because I know that you said that you did start playing it when we first met, but like how big of a jump has it been between uh this this update and the last time you?
So to give some like perspective, I put like 400 hours into this game
All right.
in that time period. Uh we don't have to go into the reasons for that. but I'll say I'll play it a lot. And I don't want to put it. I feel like I'm giving it a bad association by saying this, but uh, I have basically played this game every time that life has been bad for me. So in the initial period, there was that. And then I started playing it again in 2020, a year that was notoriously great for everyone and nothing bad happened. Um, so playing it now, when at least in my personal life, things are mostly fine, like I felt like frightened, like it was a portent of a worse thing coming, but it's honestly just a really fun, comforting game. And like that 5 year gap, I think it's interesting because I can sense in that time period I have developed, even like further back from like that 2016 period to now, I have developed a far healthier way of approaching games.
You've basically just made it sound like it's a game that grounds you, and I don't think that's a bad thing. Good to have something that's consistent and that you enjoy for the most part. Like I do my yearly Spyro playthrough, um,
Hell
my
yeah.
yearly Resident Evil 4 playthrough, which oh man, it's almost the new year. I can play through Spyro and Resident Evil 4 again. I just realized that. I could just do that anyway, but
Mm, mm,
I To go back to what you were saying about the whole pick three dichotomy with it being more of a bullet hell style thing. This is my same thing with Isaac is my uh you know same thing as that kind of where I played a billion hours of Isaac or whatever. Um and I like roguelikes more than you, I think, broadly, of like I will play them and enjoy
mm,
them for the most part. But Isaac is the one that stands out to me because similarly how, you know, different from the pick three thing, um, in a lot of ways that Nuclear Throne is with some of its approaches. Isaac always stuck out to me because you choose to avoid power-ups a lot of the time in a way
mhm,
that, like, similar to how Nuclear Throne, you pick your guns and you have to think about what you're taking and stuff like that. I just like that style of nuance to the formula and the overall like experience compared to the pick three because it always feels like a Slay the Spire, like there is certainly an angle to Slay the Spire where, there's card removal and stuff like that. So you are removing some aspects of your kit. But that game and those games that follow it are all about just getting incrementally stronger. Whereas these older style roguelikes have the appeal of you are making a specific build.
mhm.
Um, and I think that's what's always stood out to me and why I resonated way more with the old guard of roguelikes kind of from like 10 years ago uh, than what we have now.
Yeah, and I think like even when you consider like the it's almost like a weird offshoot, especially when you consider like I don't even know what the archetype is. People say vampire survivor like, some people say bullet heaven, but
I
it's
don't like
it's the
Bullet
same
Heaven.
kind of thing where the incremental improvements are so in a lot of ways thoughtless that it's just kind of a game where you reach a certain point where the game basically plays itself, provided you're even slightly playing it, like paying attention. Like I don't understand like the addictive power of something like Vampire Survivors. It's fine if you like it. I just don't get it. But it with like the pick three kind of design, they are way more approachable, but in that same kind of way, it feels like what happens is way less my responsibility.
Hmm.
Like
More
I
just
don't
like
know. I'm
the whims of RNG.
Yeah, and like I'm a freak, okay? I can admit like the games that I play, I enjoy Devil May Cry, I enjoy Ultra Kill. I like games that make my roommates wonder if I'm okay through the wall. It sounds like I'm playing Yahtzee in here when I play video games, okay? That's just how I've been doing it. That's how I've been doing it for my entire life. I play video games for the dang RSI.
Sure.
But Nuclear Throne is like, it's funny because in the same way I kind of associate it with like Enter the Gungeon, which is a game that is like proximally similar. Like I have been recommended that game so many times by people who heard that I liked Nuclear Throne, and Enter the Gungeon is just so much worse at it.
I agree. Because similarly, I have been recommended that game a lot by people who are like, "Oh, it's like Isaac," in some ways too, and it's like, no, it's not.
I don't know. It's like I will admit that I got into like the roguelike type game way probably later than a lot of people. Uh I know I have played both of the iterations, or I guess yeah, both of the iterations of Binding of Isaac, but to me and my like vibrating Red Bull brain, uh they were always too slow. And the moment to moment gameplay of slowly walking across a room was not fun for me, to a point where like again, when I have friends who play a lot of Binding of Isaac, they have modded the hell of that game to the point where it does not even resemble its base self
Yeah,
anymore.
that's not Binding of Isaac
Or
anymore. That's just like the concept of the Binding of Isaac now. Which, sure.
it's the Binding of Theseus.
Yeah.
But
Mm.
having people like modding in like the wiki descriptions of every item, or having your stats on the screen at all times and all that kind of stuff, that's just kind of like a natural extension of the need for those features to be in the game, and kind of why I don't like the vanilla experience. I'm sure if I modded it enough, I could make myself like the Binding of Isaac, but at a certain point, I would just want to play something else.
That maybe has that stuff already, Like,
Hmm.
I think they finally added the wiki descriptions at least, which is nice as an official thing. Which is like, thank God, because I I liked it just because it's ease of use for when I was streaming it for people to explain what the hell the thing was doing.
Hmm.
But it was also a situation where that game eventually literally needed it because there were 900 items or something, and it's like, get real, get real.
yeah. We all don't have we all aren't Northern Lion being able to say, librarian, tell me what this item does. Like, none of us have fucking
And they don't look
henchmen.
like Pokemon creatures, so they're not cute enough to keep lodged in our memory, you know?
Exactly, yeah. Rose, how about you? What else have you been?
Yeah, so a couple small ones again. Routine is a game that was announced in like 2012 that finally came out now. It's a first person horror game set on the moon where you're in a little space station. Um, I have only played, like, no joke, like maybe 30 minutes of it or something like that because I was busy and it's on the computer. I don't game on the computer that much. Um, but I was really happy that it finally came out. I'm hearing from people who have played a lot more of it that it's good, which is very exciting to hear about a game that has been in development forever. Um, but the the thing I can say about this game that is really appealing is you open up the game and you immediately walk over to a little terminal and your mouse cursor appears on another screen inside the game, and you control the mouse cursor to interact with a fake computer, not accent like just from looking at it. You look at the computer and now you're controlling a cursor, and you go through the very tactile thing of going through different menus on a computer to read an email, sign a form, do a waiver, and then print out an ID card. And when it prints out your ID card, you have to pick up your ID card by crouching and then extra crouching to squat on the floor and reach underneath a table to grab your thing. So it's just this whole drawn out experience of like really capturing that vibe of doing something. And I think that's kind of what the whole game is I was losing my mind when I exited out into the first hallway and they're like, "Hey, you can stand on your tippy toes in this game if you want. And it's like, what? And it's like, yeah, if you hold the crouch button and press up, you'll just like go up a little bit, really like with the camera like acting like you're like tiptoes like tensed up and everything. And I
All
was like,
right.
this is great. You can lean and all that shit. um, you pretty quickly get like a little handheld gun thing that's it is a gun, sure, but it's also a thing with like 7 compartments in it that you can look at and then pull all the different compartments to do different things like opening doors or accessing wires and things like that. And I just love that tactile feel to it all. I love it. I love this the way it feels like you are a person doing things.
I
uh
Yeah.
I
you know
love games obsessed with the mundanity of physical
yeah.
objects. I love the equivalent of a video game still life.
Exactly. I do too, because it's like you you get that level of meditation on it, right? You have this meditation on these tasks, and then it gets them thinking about like, hey, what are things you do in this situation that we have designed? How annoying would it be to be in a spacesuit on a space station and have to crouch all the time? That would probably suck, wouldn't it? Like I like it because it doesn't feel like one of those like a Kenshi, for lack of a better description, if you know what that game is, like the
Mhm.
super survival stuff where all your bones break and then you have to do a specific thing. It's not like to that level of minutia and depth because they just want you to have the experience. And I think that's the perfect middle ground for me when it comes to these more like simulation driven games to a certain extent is I don't want the whole experience because they never actually end up replicating the experience in a compelling way. They just end up making it, oh, this makes you think that it's pretty hardcore and real, right? And it's like not really. But like doing something like literally crouching extra so you can reach under a table is like, yes, you get it. You get it. This is what you would what makes a compelling horror situation, right? Like you're trying to do some sort of thing and there's a scary thing happening, but you have to do a really weird task.
Well, like, take something like Alien Isolation as an example. Like, that
As
game
yeah,
has flaws, but, like, the mundanity of needing to, like, slice through a door is not there to waste your time. It's there to make you scared that the fucking
yeah,
anus tunneler is about to dig inside of you while you're doing it.
exactly. And I think horror is a genre that lends itself extremely well to this sort of thing. Like even on a bare bones level, the idea of these games, and obviously Dead by Daylight takes it to an extreme, but plenty of horror games are like, hey, start the generator and then go do something. And then like, oh no, the generator went out. You have to go fix the generator again. Uh-oh, creature gets you. Like it's
Gotta
they
kick it
have to
back
capture
on.
these mundane. Yeah.
Well,
And they have to
lots
capture
of
these mundane acts because that's where the horror comes in. What if you were doing normal thing in your day to day and then Pyramid Head was there to hit you
I'd
a little
fucking
bit?
hate that. Oh my
It
god.
would be awful.
Only thing that
well,
would be
lots
worse is if it was Terrifier the Clown.
but lots of horror kind of comes into existence around awkward, painful acts. And even though he's not like strictly like a horror director, nothing really sticks with me like there's a scene in a Guillermo del Toro film where a guy gets like a wood spike like in his armpit. And like in a lot of games, in like a lot of media, people tend to be injured in quote unquote attractive places. When you're playing a video game and a guy gets a cut right across his cheek, like that's an attractive place for that to happen. But we all are like people. You all probably have one human experience with getting injured in a place where you're like, what the fuck? I didn't even think it was possible to be hurt there.
Yeah.
And the experience with something like horror games is that kind of feeling of the the mundanities of life being bullshit that hurts you. Like as a person who this has happened to a lot of times, walking through a door really fast and getting like your bag caught on the fucking door handle happening in a video game would simultaneously make me cry, scream, but also would make me feel very seen.
Yeah, fun game.
Good.
Uh, I've also been playing that Tales of Xillia Remaster,
How's that
which
going?
is pretty fun. You know, Tales games, I'm never gonna come out here and be like, they're the most fun game to play in the world. Uh, the combat is totally serviceable for what it is. It is completely fine. There's some, better ideas in this than something like Berseria, which I would say has, you know, Trapped by Zestiria having not so good combat. But I like this more than like Tales of Rise, even because it's like basically the combat in this game is a system where you sort of link yourself to another character, and then you both do like combo moves all the time, and you have a lot of like backstepping behind things and punching and whatever. It's very standard, but 2.5D weird things. The real appeal of a Tales game is the writing and the character writing that they do, and once again, it's just banger, 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 banger. God, great stuff. This is the one that has the main character option where you get to pick as either Jude Mathis or Milla Maxwell. There we go.
Hmm.
And Milla is like a weird himbo who is like a spirit turned into a person, and she just goes around being like, I don't know what's going on. Awesome. And like just barely understands anything. And then Jude Mathis is a fucking medical school student who is just like, I know doctor stuff. I don't really know what else is going on. And then they're just hanging out with the worst Han Solo style guy ever. So
Hmm.
it's just fun. It's just fun stuff. I got another party member. All of the skits are just really, I love skits. I don't understand why every game doesn't do skits. They're like the best thing ever. Just like walking around the world map and you have the break in the monotony of your party members being like, that's a fucking huge tree. What the hell? And then being like, I've never seen a tree like that. I've never seen trees before. You've never seen trees before? What the fuck is wrong with you? Like, just like, I
Well,
just love it.
having party members who can talk about things other than the fucking task at hand is
Yeah.
so like texturizing. So I played Tales of Xillia on the original like PS3,
Wow.
and one of the skits that always stuck with me and just being like, okay, whatever, is like she's kind of like got a case of like Xenoblade 2 sexy garb going on.
Yeah.
She's kind of got that. But they have an in-game skit that where the one of the characters is like, "Why are you like fucking dressed like that like on purpose?" And her honest to God response was, "How rude. I had every one of the spirits tailor every aspect of my being to be as hot as possible, I'll have you know." And the guy's like, "What the fuck? Why?" And he's like, "Because if people are horny, then they're not fighting me as good, stupid."
If it works, it
I
works.
I just saw that skit, so I can tell you even more specifically that it was yeah, she says all of that stuff you said, and she's like, "It works great on men." And then the girl in the party goes, "I think you look super hot, also." And she goes, "Wow, it's even more effective than I thought."
She's like, "I literally got the goddess of wind to style my hair."
It's great. I just think it's very charming, and it runs fine on the PlayStation 5 if you can believe it. But I did hear the Switch version still has a bunch of issues, which is sad.
Sad.
I'm really excited for Tales of Berseria to run at 30 FPS on the Nintendo Switch. Very exciting.
Can't wait.
You can watch the world's worst woman running at a solid 14 FPS.
That's all I can ask for.
I will watch her run in any FPS. She's the hero of our
Me
time.
too, honestly.
All right. Lily, do you want to wrap your stuff up?
I got one more, and this one's gonna be real short.
All right.
But once again, I am a double idiot, double hypocrite, because
Oh my
I
gosh.
really liked Time Snatcher Handy. I haven't done one in a while, but that was like the demo that stuck with me like these past couple weeks.
Okay.
So the core concept is that you are a cat burglar cat breaking into the Time Museum to steal the most powerful artifact that people have. And that basically acts as your roguelike weapon. So this is a game where it has taken the conceit of being a time travel game to be about everything. So you know how, oh my goodness, the name of the game is escaping me. The Toho Metroidvania where you're playing as Sayaka and you have all of the time powers.
Ho ho, Luna Knights.
Thank you.
You can be the commercial announcer, John.
I wish. Oh my god.
You could be the guy who announces it on the title screen when you push the start button.
Or in the Wiimote.
Ho ho,
That's
Luna Knights.
crackly. But the interesting thing about it, right? So in Toho Luna Knights, she had HP, but she also had the time gauge, basically. This game mashes everything in the time gauge. Your
Okay.
ability to stop time, it's the time gauge. Your ability to buy items, it's the time gauge. Your HP, it's the time gauge. Your
Huh.
ability to level things up, you better believe it's the time gauge. And so as the game progresses, you're doing this weird limbo where you're like, oh my gosh, I have to beat this boss with only this much time stop left, but if he hits me, I'll just die. So you have to like microdose your time freezes. And because you can literally stop time, they don't really need to worry about the attack patterns being super fair or reactable. And in that same kind of way that I really liked Nuclear Throne, the base moment to moment gameplay was really interesting because it seems like they've learned these kind of lessons where the most interesting way to handling leveling up in these kinds of games is not doing +5 damage. It's every time I attack, I teleport randomly, and now I don't know where I am on the screen. That's so much more interesting than 2% more crits.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really liked it. It's got a free demo. There's my plug.
All right. Good to know. Rose, what is your last?
So I play a lot of Elden Ring Nightreign because I'm sick and I like it more than the real Elden Ring by like a large amount. Um, Proving again I like roguelikes. But yeah, they released their DLC for I assume the only DLC that they're gonna do for Nightreign, but we'll see. Because I know that game sold very well, very very well. Um, but it added 2 new characters and one new. They called it a shifting Earth, but it's literally an entirely different map. So shifting Earth was a thing that kind of changed up the core map with a mechanic like, hey, it changes the top corner into an ice mountain, or hey, it changes the bottom right into a poison swamp, stuff like that, or whatever.
As it often
um,
is.
yeah, as it has to be. This is called the same thing as that, but it is quite literally an entirely different map. It changes the entire map to be a vertical underground place. Um, and it's great. I'm really enjoying it. It's a little hard, but not insanely hard or anything. It's just they added some hard bosses from Dark Souls 3 and some other older games that are like a little more difficult than what was in the base game. But on the flip side of that, those 2 new characters they added are really great. They added a weird nun who everyone keeps posting on Twitter because she licks the wall and is making weird slurping noises all the time.
That's the only thing that I've seen, and
Well, I can tell you, I really like playing as the nun, because she has basically every character in Night has like 2 abilities and a passive or whatever. Her main ability is that she can enter a state where she dodges and moves really fast, and you can enter a special version of that state where she auto dodges, which is a kind of crazy thing to have in a Souls-like game.
Yeah,
So
sounds like it.
it's like, if a thing happens, she just like does a quick back step. It has a short window, but it's cool. And then her alt ability is she does a gigantic tracking, seemingly with no distance modifier, kick to an enemy and does like huge damage and staggers them, and then she flies back really easily. That move is awesome because Elden Ring is an annoying game for a lot of reasons. The bosses move around in really annoying ways. They're constantly running away from you, it feels like a lot of the time, which has always been my issue with it. So having a character that can jump to them really fast solves some of those issues, especially if, say, a dragon flies 500 feet into the air, and before you would just have to run away. But now you can just jump kick them from 500 feet away
Well, there you
with a
go.
stupid nun and
Get your
knock
ass
them out
over
of the
there.
sky. Yeah.
So
And
what
if
you're
you're a friend,
saying is that Elden Ring would be improved if just Virgil was the main character.
yes, I'm always saying this, okay?
Yeah.
I've always felt this way. Um, Nightreign is leaning into those character action game style things way more, honestly, in a lot of ways, like infinite bow arrows and stuff like that, spells, being able to generate infinite mana and things like that. Just makes it feel way more like an action game character kit than an RPG character kit, which is fun, and I really like it. And these new characters are even better for that. Because the thing with her kick also is if any of your teammates, you have two teammates in Nightreign, if you can, well, up to two anyway. If they use their ult, you get an extra ult immediately. So you can just do two drop kicks. So like what I did was I kicked that dragon out of the sky the first time I saw it, and then it falls to the ground. I just do another kick to drop kick it like immediately after that and stun it even more. And it feels really good and fun in a way that those Souls games feel like they're often scared of letting you do. Um, and on the flip side of that, like she's a very basic character. Like I just described very basic skills like that she has. The other character is the scholar, and he has this thing where he enters a stance where he looks at them through like his monocle, and then like meters will fill up on the screen as him like analyzing the different enemies that you're fighting. And then you can, yeah, like exactly like that, like he literally enters a stance where he's walking around with his hand out over his monocle, and then it's like going like a meter filling up. And when the meter fills up, you can put debuffs on them for a short amount of time, and you can get a buff on your teammates while you're doing it. But when you're in that stance, the only thing you can do is try to dodge out of it, and he has a worse dodge than everyone else, so you have to be really good at it. But it's like cool. It's a good trade-off because you're doing huge debuffs and buffs for people by doing it, and it makes this like new way of play that I didn't know they were really capable of kind of doing in this type of game. Um
What a
and
Final Fantasy ass character archetype, though.
He really is. Uh the thing I really liked about him also was that the his ultimate ability is just a really strong like thing where you can like heal and do damage to people at the same time, but it's like a huge amount of space. So there are a lot of times where like I'm in just a normal zone and I use the ult and it's just doing passive damage to a bunch of bugs walking around, and so you just get to hear the noise of 1,000 things dying in the distance. um And then his passive also is just he uses items and then levels them up as he uses them. So he's kind of like a consumable character build. So he's like, you use fire bombs enough, and then your fire bombs now permanently do like 7 times more damage.
Oh my god, that's like a really Final Fantasy ass character
It
concept.
really is, right?
So he's
It,
like the scholar and like the alchemist.
yeah, it's great. I really like it. I think it helps like make me optimistic for any future games that they're going to do, because I assume that them seeing like this was successful and that people really like it will make them go like, hey, maybe we should go a little more arcadey with one of our games. Because I if Elden Ring was arcadey, I wouldn't mind that it was a 90-hour game that was really boring a lot of the time.
Yeah, I mean, I think we feel kind of comparatively about Elden Ring, if for different reasons. But I think like the watching people play uh Elden Ring, like the Nightreign stuff with the perspective of people who really really liked Elden Ring is kind of interesting because I keep seeing people complaining about like how unbalanced Nightreign is in that kind of sense. I don't know. Do you feel like that's like a concern?
I don't think so, because it's like I assume they mean like balancing wise, like certain weapons are just ridiculously stronger or something like that, or
Mm-hmm.
whatever. I don't think it's that big of a problem because, especially with these new characters, you have the thing where it's like the scholar is really bad at literally every weapon type except arcane. But that means that he's really good even with anything that has an elemental effect put on it. And a lot of the weapons in Elden Ring Nightreign that you'll pick up just have the elemental things on them. So it's like, even if a weapon doesn't scale with arcane inherently, by having that extra thing on it, it does. And that like creates a new level of engagement where it's like, sure, this weapon might suck for X character, but it's cool for this one. Or like, hey, I can surprisingly get by and figure out that I like this weapon that I never used in Elden Ring because I was forced to play it, kind of. Um, and that's how I get around. Like there are certainly situations where it's like, yes, I want to get the Melania sword all the time. Yes, I want to
Mm-hmm.
get the Halo scythe that, does the awesome animation and has the ring or whatever and all those things. But it's the game feels fine and interesting even when it's forcing me to reckon with the fact that I don't have very good weapons because I have to think about what I can do at that moment, which is not something you really get into with Elden Ring as much as people say it. I don't think, like, in Elden Ring, you have to do things at all the time, but in Night Rain you don't have to do everything. You kind of are forced to make decisions and decide what you want to do
Mm-hmm.
or what you can
I
do.
I mean, I think that's really interesting because like one of the talking points that I see a lot in praise of Elden Ring is its kind of horizontal style for how things progress. Because like again, a facet that's always been there, as much as people ignore it in Souls likes, is that if a strategy isn't working, you always have the ability to pivot to something else.
Yeah.
But the particularities, especially of Elden Ring, is like you said, because so much of that game does kind of feel very fillery, and depending on your build archetype, you end up in these kinds of situations where like why would I raid a dungeon when 90% of the time it's not going to be something for me? And
Yeah.
from what you're saying, like because Night Rain is like a much more condensed kind of game, it heavily incentivizes that kind of approach to just use what you have rather than trying to use like I guess what's optimal or what you already know to be efficient.
Because you can't even get it a lot of the time, right? Like it's like a lot of the time it's the whims of RNG uh, that you even get access to these things. But it's like,
Mhm.
but yeah, it's like you kind of have to work with what you have. Like if you have really bad gear, then you can't even go for, say, those shifting earth things I mentioned. Like if the shifting earth appears and there's the city that has a boss, and you usually get a legendary thing from that boss. If you don't have the weapons to take down that boss, you're wasting your time and you're gonna die trying to go for him.
Mhm.
So it's the type of thing where you go, okay, maybe I go do something else now, and then you're forced to, maybe get something different, maybe get something new. Um, I think that just that tone changer is such a big deal. I really think it's. I
I
like
mean
it a
like
lot.
on the one hand, I still like the wounded soldier in my soul is like upset that character action games have been done as dirty as they have
Yeah,
been for like the past decade. But like I can concede, especially with things like Lies of P and Neo being willing to borrow more and more like DNA from
Yeah.
character action games. Like, as let's not pretend, like, a lot of the Souls DLC is where they hide a lot of the character action ass weapons. Like,
Hmm.
as early as Dark Souls 1, it was like, okay, here's the Artorias flip. Um Dark Souls 3, you had the fucking twin scythes.
And the
And
fucking guts ballista rapid fire crossbow.
mhm, like, you can just have those be like, cause you can make the games difficult. Like, I feel like I keep seeing this, like, weird opinion about that kind of thing where, like, Souls likes need to be grounded in order for, like, the oppressive atmosphere to work, but I don't necessarily agree. A
Oh, no way.
fantastical thing can still be hard, and I don't know, like, I was reticent to try Nightreign, but if like, again, your impressions sound positive, I don't know, a lot of people have been begging me to play dang Nightreign.
If you
I
have
might.
people to play with specifically, it's an easy recommendation because it is really fun to play with other people. I think
Oh.
there was this thing that I thought was really funny when the game first came out, where when you looked at reviews, it was like, all right, the reviewer played with people. Yeah, 8 out of 10, 9 out of 10. This is a really fun time. Reviewer played with no people. Fucking worst game ever. This is like a 5. This is barely functional. This is barely even a game. Like it just because it is very much designed to be you're complementing other people's kits and like doing things. Like when your friend is the archer and you know that every time you die, they are going to very easily be able to bust out that ult and instantly raise you while stunning the boss, it means that you can be more loose and like aggressive. Or
Mm,
conversely, like if you are the witch, you know that you can almost get hit and just mash your alt button and enter a very long animation where you will not get hit and also you will put on a healing buff for all your friends or whatever in the meantime while you're doing that. It's like this thing of like it just becomes such a different vibe, um that I think initially some people were taking it on the terms of this is Elden Ring when it is its own thing, and it's pretty decent at being that own thing.
oh man, I might end up playing Nightreign.
I'm
Oh
sorry to
dang it.
interrupt you. If you hate it, listen, if you hate it, you can throw rocks at me and that's fine. But I do think it's pretty fun. um I I yeah, I didn't think I would like it as much as I did. I figured it would just be a little thing, but I'm constantly like they added that mode before the DLC that's called Deep of Night, where it's
Mhm,
basically you fill up a meter and the game gets harder over time. And there's like weird modifiers on everything and weird like trade-off weapons. Like, oh, this weapon has 200% damage and also like restores your stamina while you're doing things, but you lose 1 HP every second that you're using the weapon. So,
mm.
and I like that sort of weird thing of like, oh god, I shouldn't use this weapon. I should fuck it. I'm taking it with me right now anyways, even though this is gonna make everything worse.
Anything
Um
that gives me the narrative catharsis of using my 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 bloody demon katana that can only be resheathed if it tastes human blood, but in a video game, that's cool.
yeah, I've been chasing the high of Chikage forever since Bloodborne came out.
Oh my god. The amount of times where I grind out the Chikage and I'm like, this sword is a bit bad. Still gonna use it though.
Feels good.
Feels good.
Um yeah, Night Rain really cool. The two new characters are great. I honestly hope they do more DLC just because if this is their DLC, that's great because it just feels like they're going more mechanical. Like they could have very easily just have been like, well, we didn't do an arcane character really, so here's the arcane person and their moves do more damage or something. Like they could have just as easily done that, but instead they were like, you know what? Fuck it. This person does a flying drop kick and the other one does science on them and makes his firebomb do big damage. Like
Mhm.
that's cool. That's thinking about the mechanics of the whole game in a way
I
that's great.
I do kind of wonder now at this point how Duskbloods is going to be.
Yeah.
Not good. I'm gonna be brutal. I'm gonna be negative. This is like the first time. I'm usually the type of person who goes like, "Hey, we don't know. We'll see. Let's temper our expectations and just maybe they'll surprise us. They do good, interesting things. I don't think extraction stuff works. Full stop. Like on a broader scale, especially not in a third-person action format like that, in a way that will be compelling to people who like the types of games that FromSoft makes. B, it honestly has the pastiche of a PvP MMO, and those also don't work. Like it's
Consider
gonna
the
be
Steam
role
chart.
playing. Oh, the Steam chart. Well, I am considering the Steam chart. I'm considering the Steam chart 2 weeks after release that everyone's posting, going dead game question mark. Um, yeah, I want to believe that's good, but hearing that shit has been in development for 6 years is not bolstering my optimism because
I have a great
yeah,
I have a great idea. What
okay,
if what about Dark Souls? But it's
okay.
just like Overwatch.
So
That'll be
you could be
timely,
Solaire
right?
and praise the sun with your F key.
Yeah, it'll be timely. Like you can buy skins.
Ooh.
Ooh.
You could be Beavis and
You know,
Butthead.
I gotta say the funniest part of Nightreign is the skins that you can get for all the characters, because it's like you turn the bird guy into Solaire, and it's like he's a bird, and now he's okay. Or like you just turn that Viking into fucking Havel the Rock from Dark Souls, and he's just him now. It's so weird.
I remember when Solaire was in Dark Souls 1. That was like my favorite thing.
That was your favorite thing. You love
Yeah.
jolly cooperation.
I do.
Yeah, I posted that 100 times on Reddit.
You got so many upvotes.
Thank you for the Reddit gold, kind stranger.
Yay!
Welcome
Good
back,
game.
John.
Hi.
Yeah, I know.
I've been here
You
for
didn't miss much.
a bit.
You disappeared from the stream, boss.
I had to pee.
It's okay.
I was
No,
trying not
it's
to bring
fine.
attention to it, but okay.
No, listen, you picked the perfect time. You are not the Souls player, so it was the perfect opportunity for you to escape.
Can I say that I appreciate that we are on opposite sides of the desk?
It was just your chance, even. I didn't even think about it.
Fun.
We're on ESPN. We're commenting on the situation. You got, terrors in Russia, rocketing the world, and I'm looking at Virgil down in downtown Redgrave.
That's what they're talking about on ESPN now. Jesus.
Yeah, they're like,
Yeah, you've seen that Stephen
this
Smith guy. He's
That's
just saying
true.
whatever the
Yeah,
fuck.
that's.
this Virgil guy is an old dog, but I think he can learn new tricks. He can judgment he could judgment cunt 3 times. Maybe next quarter he will do
And
4
that
times.
smile. It's perfect.
Do we want to do asks?
We got 2 more little bits of news real quick to go through.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, so first off, unfortunately, we do have another bit of news about someone in the video game space passing away. This time it is Cary-Hiroyuki Tagawa, who was actor in quite a few things. Some of the highlights are he was recently in that the Man in the High Castle Amazon show. He actually got his start apparently in 1986 in Big Trouble in Little China as like a background character. Um, but his big claim to fame that everyone thinks of when you think of Cary-Hiroyuki Tagawa, Shang Tsung from the Mortal Kombat movie, like the original one. Came back recently for I think it was MK11. Yeah, MK11 to reprise that role. Uh, doing the voice, and they redesigned the Shang Tsung to look like him again. And I mean, fucking killed it. Like that first Mortal Kombat movie is one of the better video game movies just because it's a lot of fun and it's not like just complete and total dog shit. And he adds a lot to it. Like just you know, it just, you fucking believed it when that camera zoomed in on him and he was just like, "Your brother's soul is mine." Like you knew it. Your brother's soul is fucking gone, dude. You knew it. So rest in peace to one of the goats for real. But yeah, in a lot of other stuff too. Like was recently in a Kubo and the Two Strings. The Ard not Ard the people that did like Paranorman. I could just um Leica Leica movie. So yeah,
Sure is.
uh, bit of a shame, but left behind a pretty big old cloth of work for sure. And our last bit of news here is I can only kind of speak on this. Rose, you had a lot more insight here, but Helldivers 2 recently updated their PC installation size. In that originally the game was 154 gigs, which is a lot, but it is now 23 gigs. They
Which is
reduced
quite a jump.
they reduced it by 131 gigs or 85%. If you want to speak on why this is the case,
Yeah.
please.
So first, so on PlayStation also, it was roughly that size anyway, like the 20 whatever. It's like 23 to something. I think it's a bit more on PlayStation just because how PlayStation is, but it's like the type of thing of like, what the hell was going on over there? And then what they said basically is they had I think it's Nix's is a Sony company that exists to do optimization and technical backend stuff came in and was like, hey, what the hell is going on over there? Because their newest update added like 50 gigs to it or something like that. And they were like, what is this? You just added caves. That's not what? Like, why are you bigger than Spider-Man 2? You're Helldivers. Like, what's going on? And so basically, they were taught from a metric standpoint that if you're using mechanical spinning hard drives, which some people still are. I have one in my computer left around. That's not what I play the games off of, but there are people who have mechanical spinning hard drives still on their computer instead of an SSD or another kind of hard drive. um if you have that, they were taught that you need to accommodate for the speed of the disk and accommodate for the concept of disk rot happening to a hard drive. So you need to generate 6 times the amount of assets. So you need to basically just have 6 duplicates of assets in there to accommodate
Hell,
for the loading experience and reduce the issues caused within the thing. And basically I saw the Nix's people on social media coming in and saying like, "Hey, so yeah, we're happy we fixed it because Jesus Christ!" Like, it's one of those things where it's like this is I think such a common thing in games we can talk about as being a constant issue of metrics aren't real. When
yeah.
someone tells you a metric fact and talks about it like it's a defined knowledge point that we is like fixed and real, 90% of the time, not only is it not just useful, it's outright fabricated. Like it is just pulled out of nowhere. And I've heard that this happened before a lot of other games in the space also. Helldivers is kind of a unique case because they develop in a very weird way, but it is still a case of like they were taught that and told by their technical people who learned from other people that this was what they had to do, and it just wasn't true. Like a funny thing was I hadn't heard about this discourse for quite a while because Helldivers fans were going off and off about like how you need to make it so no one can use a hard drive to play the game. Make it so no one can do that. And then being like, why would we do that? It's no, we can't. And they're like, they're the reason the load times are bad. And then it's like, no, that's not why. It's actually an insane reason. Um,
That's wild. I wonder if this will lead to more file size
I
shrinkage.
think we're going to start seeing that at least on the PS5, especially. Sony rolled out, I assume from that same company that they work with. They rolled out a new compression algorithm for the PlayStation 5. The last 4 games
Good.
I have played on the PlayStation have been like 20 to 30 gigabytes, and I've been like, oh,
Oh, impressive.
the world can be normal again.
Please. Please.
Please. Someone to teach the fucking horrible gotcha games about that though, because Infinity Nikki is almost 100 gigabytes now, and it's Honkai Star Rail is like 140 or something. I stopped putting it on that thing. I was just like, this is not right. This is a phone game. Get out of here. Um, I think can I bold statement here. Remember in 2013 when you used to be able to download an HD texture pack for a game, and
Yeah.
it was a separate install that you could choose to do?
Yeah.
We need to bring that back, and I don't understand why we went away from that, because I don't ever want to play a game at 4K. Ever. I never want to do that. I'm going to keep it real with you. Ever. So why do I have to have that shit lying around?
Sure.
But yeah, funny thing, really funny thing, and I just want everyone out there, everyone, please, please, if you ever repeat a game metric, think to yourself, could this be real? Is this real? Just don't trust these fucking magic numbers, please.
One more bit of news that I missed until right this second. This is just a crazy ass
I
event
thought
that
you'd get a
occurred.
kick out of it.
I do get a kick out of it. So, there was a new Postal game that got announced recently. For those of you who don't know Postal, keep it that way. But yeah, it's basically just they're stupid ass games that are about a guy shooting people, basically. Like that's it. So a new entry in this illustrious series that is created by Running with Scissors developer was announced, called Postal Bullet Paradise. They had hired another studio called Goon Swarm Games to develop this one. It seems like it was going to be a sort of like survivors kind of thing, like round based, upgrading yourself, shooting enemies and that sort of deal. But in first person, which is a little different, interesting, I suppose, with all the
Yeah, I mean,
good old Postal flavor, like peeing on people and Crotchy, the dick mascot. Love.
great.
Wonderful stuff. But like 2 days after it got announced, Running with Scissors announced, actually we're canceling it. It is not coming out because our fans told us that a bunch of the art in this game, because it's all like pixel sprites of the like enemies that you shoot, uh they just claimed that it looked like it was done by AI. And they did point out that Goon Swarm did most likely use genAI on some of their other games, but they just said that it looked like it, and it doesn't seem that Running with Scissors actually like vetted it, because Goon Swarm has said that they tried to send them like PSDs and like proof that it wasn't AI, and that Running with Scissors just said nope, because they said, well, our fans didn't like it and they thought that it was something that we chose to do, and we are against AI, so we just canceled it because it's not worth losing trust with our fans, and we
The
treat
trust of the Postal community.
we treat our fans like they are part of our dev team, so we take them into consideration. Yeah, the genius fans of Postal, like, look, I totally get it that yes, it's good to be anti-AI, and it is, like all that, but it really just seems like they just jumped at the chance to cancel this game for some reason. It's fucking bizarre. I like, if it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, if you dug into it and it turned out that that's what they did, sure. But yeah, like, yeah, here I'll read this. Goon Swarm sent in a statement to PC Games N. No generative AI was used for the reveal trailer or for the game. All assets were created by our human artists using standard tools. We've shared layered PSDs, work in progress files, and other materials to confirm this. Any mistakes or rough spots in these files are being misinterpreted as proof of AI, that they simply reflect the normal human art creation process. Again, it could go either way. Like that could be true. They could be bullshitting, but it's just the fact that they just toss it out. Like it's fucking crazy. Like they announced this and 2 days later it got canceled. Fucking weird. I don't get it. And Goon Swarm is apparently shutting down because of this too. Because yeah, they, you know,
It's such a bizarre world
yeah,
in every ways. It's just like I don't like you really don't know what to believe because there is definitely this angle of like, hey, people just start saying things are AI all the time to things that aren't AI, but also I I wouldn't doubt that the creators of Vampire Survivors for Postal are the type of people to use generative
no,
AI.
it's one of those things where it's like I don't doubt it, but it's also just like everyone just seems like they're being insane about this all at once,
Yeah,
and
like no investigation is crazy, right?
and
Like
yeah,
no.
but of course they're being insane about it. They're the fucking postal people,
Yeah, they're the
so
fucking
yeah,
Postal people. But the
yeah,
thing I think is really funny is the first day, that day in between the 2 days before it was canceled,
right.
the Running with Sisters people were like, "How dare you accuse our beloved partner? We love them more than anything. You shouldn't do that. They love Postal more than anyone." And then just literally the next day, no,
Actually
we
die.
hear you.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it's crazy, but of course they're crazy. Again, like you said, they're the Postal people.
I mean, isn't like obviously like large language models and generative AI didn't exist, but isn't this kind of like a trend? Like, isn't this the thing that happened with fucking Postal 3 too?
Kind of,
Well,
I
because
mean,
like I thought like a
it was like
large
stolen
amount,
assets, right?
yeah, like or it was like outsourced heavily to the point where they weren't checking on the people making it.
I believe so.
which
That
would
but
I
that
get?
was like
I
15 years ago or something,
Yeah,
right?
which I mean, I guess
Mhm.
would make sense why they would be scared about that, because like Postal 3 is so loathed, like especially to the fans, that it would make sense that they would be like, yeah, we're trying to outsource again and immediately it's blowing up in our face. We got to nix this right fucking now or we're going to have another Postal 3 on our hands. That makes sense, but it would make more sense if they then thought about it for 5 more minutes after that and then said we need to look into it before we just pull the trigger. But they did not do that. So yeah, just fucking crazy. Fucking crazy. I don't know. I have I have been told by some people that that Postal brain damaged game that came out a couple years ago is decent, but
So let me tell you right now. Okay.
okay.
Do you want to know why Postal Brain Damaged is the closest thing to being decent?
Why is that?
It is because it steals like 90% of its ideas from other games.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
Like it stole okay, like again, all art is iterative, but in the case of Postal Brain Damaged, you're literally referencing the thing you're taking it from, you know? So they took the smart pistol from Titanfall. They took the
Okay.
meat hook shotgun from fucking Doom Eternal. Um it has
All
some
right.
of the most immediately dating humor. Like let's not pretend that Postal 2 isn't super dated when it has
Gary
like
Coleman.
shit. Yeah, Gary Coleman and like the the era that that game came out was when people were still trying to take Jack Thompson
Mm-hmm.
seriously
Yeah, sign my petition.
and all that kind of shit. This one has an honest to god boss fight that is just the fucking coronavirus.
That sucks. Okay, say like
I can see
literally
the thoughts going in John's head in real time.
that sucks, but it sucks in the same way that Postal 2 sucks, and like there's like a weird bit where it's like kind of funny because of how much it sucks. So
Well, it's
like
such like a Beavis and Butthead, like so edgy it loops back around where you're just bewildered.
I like Beavis and
That
Butthead though.
okay, maybe Beavis and Butthead isn't a good example. I'm talking like South Park levels of
Sure.
edgy.
Yeah, yeah.
Like Postal 2 literally has a mission where you're getting goat milk from the fucking like horrible parody like terrorism grocery
Yeah,
store.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And
Ugh.
it's like the most fucking offensive thing you can think about, but you know they didn't think that hard about it, so it's like it's shitty, don't get me wrong, but it's like hard to derive malice from.
It's
I
one
don't
of
know.
the I was listening to Jeff Gersman's podcast a bit ago, and he was talking about the most recent Eminem CD, or maybe not the most recent, but just one of the most recent ones. Yeah, it was the most recent one where it's like him now versus his Slim Shady persona, and how there's a bunch of bits where like while he's doing the Slim Shady stuff, he's like saying a bunch of gross shit and then being like, "Are you gonna cancel me now, huh?" And it's like it feels
You
kind
were
of
a teenage boy.
it feels kind of similar to that, where it's just like you're saying these things to try to get a rise out of people because you feel like that's what you have to do, and at this point it feels like you kind of know that you don't mean it, so you're just like, all right, man, whatever, like, sure. Like, we have so many people who are like actively hateful and doing a lot of really shitty stuff out there, so it's just kind of like, yeah, I'm gonna say something homophobic, and then it's like, dude, like, I've seen interviews where you've actively said like, no, I don't have any problems with gay people, I'm just saying stuff, like, we know you don't mean it, so just stop
Well,
doing it, like, who cares, like,
it's
shut up. Like,
also it's also the rhetoric thing where people want to act like jokes aren't themselves a form of rhetoric. Like,
yeah,
oh, notoriously jokes have never meant anything.
yeah, totally. Yeah, it's one of those things where, yeah, I mean, again, like, if you're gonna talk about South Park, it's like, people have been talking about how, oh, they're so anti-Trump now, but it's like Trump would not. I mean, there's so many things that had led to this, but like, yeah, like, absolute Trump would not have been in office if South Park didn't exist. Like, at some point, like, in some aspect, like, just the way that like that show eroded people's like empathy.
Well, it's
you
well,
know?
it's that, but it's also a very anti-intellectual kind of show.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
And again, we're talking about fucking Postal here. I don't think this game is like a fucking threat to humanity. Like
yeah,
I
more
I was the person who saw when people were freaking out and honest to god terrified when Hatred came out,
right.
and that game had all of the cultural staying power of like a fart in a con elevator.
Hey, I recognize it every time it appears in Gamedel.
Exactly. More what I more say is like, I think that your comparison to South Park is justified, but also like the way like people treat South Park like it's this important piece of media, and then people are just like, Postal's fucking stupid, dude, and it's like,
But
I
I
think if
remember the fucking World of Warcraft episode, dude. It was so good when I
like
was 11.
if people treated South Park like they treat Postal now, like, I think things would be better. Where it's just like, yeah, it's this stupid thing that you don't take seriously, and it's like some aspects of it, it's like, maybe some of it I can kind of laugh, because like, look, listen, every once in a while when I drink an energy drink and wakes me up, I go, I'm like, this can't be good for me, but I feel great. Like, there's some good bits from Postal. I'm gonna be honest with you,
Well,
but like, not
l-
a lot.
listen. Listen, there's a difference between finding the writing of something good and the delivery of something being so terrible it basically becomes a vocal stem, okay? Like, could you please sign my petition
Please
is
sign
like
my
a
petition.
line that has plagued numerous voice chats that I'm in, my partner will occasionally just hand me something and fucking say that. I
It's
can't
good.
escape from it.
It's good. I'm
But
sorry, but yeah, like I mean, I'm like
but it
that is
doesn't.
good. Postal is not good.
Sure. Well, again, that's exactly it. Those lines, those things where you're like, man, Postal really is the game where you can use a cat as a silencer on a shotgun. It it's so bizarre and so itself. Even the absurdity of this news is like, yeah, yeah, that would
Only
happen with
Postal.
running with
Only
scissors.
Postal. Yeah, only running with scissors would be doing something like this. Yeah, exactly. Hmm. I mean, you know, if we're gonna say stuff like that, you know, the South Park pinball machine is pretty good. I'll give the South Park pinball machine its flowers. I'll give them that. Um, that's what you get out of me.
That is the funniest backhanded I'll give it to them I've ever heard, where it's like, hey, uh I think your entire thing is shitty and has resulted in awful things. But my god, did they make a damn fine pinball machine.
They did. It's a good machine. I mean, you know, like I don't think a lot of the jokes on it are funny, but I think like the actual setup is good. It's fun to play. That's just all right. We can move on to the questions now. All right. If you want to send in a question, go to you can go to your email client of choice. You can send an email to podcast@gamesline.net. I'm gonna check one last time. Oh. You can also reply to the Blue Sky post whenever we ask for questions. Or you can go to our Discord server, which is thegamezone.zone. Type that into your web browser, it'll bring you straight there, and you can send in questions there as well. First off, we got a question from Maverick, who's also in the chat. Hi, Maverick. Maverick asks, I'm back on Expedition 33, which I haven't touched since May. Literally 10 minutes into my next session, I stumbled into a major plot beat that got undermined by me having to flounder around on the controls for a hot second. Has there been
Oh no.
has there been a time where your doling out of game sessions ended up lessening the experience of a moment or story beat? That is a good. Yeah. Having that space stuff up, getting right back in.
This is one
I've
of the
mostly taken to just like restarting, honestly.
a lot of the times that's what I do too, as long as it's not that long of a game. I I don't think this is necessarily what happened because I think the game has some issues in some regards, but in some ways that is me with Cold Steel 2, where I played it over like 7 months or something, and it was just like every time I came back to it, I'm like, okay, I have to. Where the hell was that? What's going on? Where am I? Oh, right, this is happening. Oh, sure, yeah, okay. Whereas I feel like if I was like, oh yeah, I'm going to finish this chapter at least before I take a break, it might have, maybe I would have felt a little strongly.
Sure.
Otherwise,
Lily, do you have one?
See, the thing is, I feel so strongly. I feel so intensely about that kind of anxiety about playing a game and then having to like feel like I've lost part of it, that I think at this point a dedicated part of my life has been consumed by restarting games over and over again to avoid that. Honestly, though, I think the game that was closest, that was like the biggest, like, oh shit, kind of like thing with that, um, was Divinity Original Sin 2.
Okay.
oh god,
So I'm gonna say something, and maybe people will think I'm insane for this. So like the first act of that game, like the thing that they published as a demo, Larian, is one really big, super dense island called Fort Joy. Okay? I I was told that this game was like massive or whatever. And like, okay, so it's like pretty big. All right. I have spent 120 hours
Oh boy.
on the one island that was just for the demo. Okay? The amount of times I have restarted that game to the point where I was operating under the like illusion like it's the whole fucking game on this one island. Why is this taking so long? Only to find out that every single time I had restarted the game, I had been literally less than 20 minutes from getting off the island 6 different times.
Oh my god.
Owned.
I have never gotten past that part of the game
I'm
because
sorry,
that keeps happening.
but just owned. I have
You
nothing else
kind
to
of got
say.
owned by the
Yeah.
game, I have to say, yeah.
I definitely remember having to restart Nocturne like twice because I kind of bounced off of it and then I got back to it and I was like, oh okay. Or I would try it and then I stopped playing it for a while and I was like, I'm doing now. But then after I got into SMT and I really understood what I was doing, I was able to restart it and just blow through it and have a good time. Um, Definitely remember. Was the? I mean, this just happens to me with a lot of. I'm probably gonna end up
Oh,
having to do that with the Xenosaga because I didn't finish that yet. I got like 2/3 of the way through, I think. But yeah.
I
Um.
I just realized I have Final Fantasy 12. I have restarted like 6 times like that. And the thing that kills me is similar to Lily. Every time I get to the part of the game where the gambit system truly shines and you fight the first boss where you use all the gambits perfectly and you go, "Oh, this is awesome." That is where I have stopped, no joke, 6 times because some other
Oh
game
my
comes out and I
god.
get distracted.
Do you want to know? Do you want to know how drift compatible we are right now?
Yeah.
I have Final Fantasy 12 installed on my computer. Haven't played it since April in the same goddarn situation. Also, actually, I have a story to torment John personally.
Let's hear
Okay.
it.
I'm all for that.
So you love Xenoblade Chronicles 3, right?
And Rose does too. Rose does too. And I mean, Barrel's in the
Okay.
chat talking about how they haven't finished Xenoblade 3 yet, which
So okay, so I'm not gonna spoil. I'm not gonna spoil, but I will give parenthetical detail just close enough to know this. So you know the part in the story in the prison cell and then everything that happens right over after that?
yes.
I had a friend where that was their first Xeno game and they gave up on it right there.
What? Like they were done, they didn't like the gameplay or were they like, I can't take it anymore?
They basically just said I got to that part like and again, it wasn't like they quit in front of me, so I could have said just please play like the next scene. They were like, "Yeah, it's been like 6 months. I think the last thing that happened was like there was a jail cell," and it was like, "You you stopped like right
Stop.
there?" It's just I sat there, and the thing is, I couldn't be like, "Well, have you considered going back to it?" It was, so if you
I
know anything about Xenoblade 3, you know how important that part of the game is.
I there's not. It's the similar level, but I had a friend who stopped playing Nier Automata after the big thing that happens at the beginning of Route C because they were like, "Oh, fuck this game, whatever." And I'm
Oh
like,
my god.
"What are you? What?" It's crazy to me. It's so alien. I couldn't, could never be me.
Yeah, I think we need to lock your friend and also Beryl in the hyperbolic time chamber, like Maverick said, to play through Xenoblade 3 to finish it, because that wouldn't be
I
betrayal. That would be that would come from the heart. That would be that would be a
we want what's best
kindness.
for you.
Yeah. God. All right. Next question here is from Solon, who says, "I just started Death Stranding, and the movie director cameos are gratuitous so far. Which film director should show up and photorealistically help you with the intro of a video game next?" Because Del Toro does just show up at the beginning of that. Like, I mean, he's not playing the character. They scanned him. He was scanned, but he's not his voice.
I think they just need to get fucking uh Coppola or something to just be really funny in something. But I do want to say Kojima did crush it with the RRR guy in Death Stranding 2, and also the two guys that made Bring Her Back recently. Those guys are insane in that game because they're just like jackass characters who are talking to Sam, and I really like that a lot.
Yeah, the RRR guy is so fucking funny because he just keeps getting lost in the mountain.
It's just my favorite thing is it's just you keep if you read all the logs that the son makes like constantly on the social media network before his father goes missing, he'll be like, "Thank you so much for saving him, Sam. I this has been my whole life. I just keep trying to stop him, but he just says he feels the call of the mountain and he has to go." And the thing I really liked is every time the RR guy makes a post like, "Huh, well, turns out going out in the mountains was worth it because I discovered this new scientific fact." And then all the scientists respond like, "We already knew that."
But he found it.
Every
It's new to him.
but he found it.
Yeah,
This uh,
really good. I mean, I don't know. Does it have to be a film director, or because I mean, I mean, who would I want? Would I want to get scanned just to
I'm
help
I'm
help us?
I'm willing to see Kamiya with his stupid sunglasses just appearing in that Stranding,
Please, God.
and then he blocks your
Just
account so you can't deliver packages to him anymore
yeah.
because you fuck something up
It's like
in a
something
really
really
mundane way.
minuscule to like
Yeah.
it's a perfect package, like you delivered it exactly, but you like wrote his name wrong or something, and he's just like, I no longer accept packages from insects. Blocked.
Yeah. You have to uh, I don't know, make an appeal to Die Hardman to message him and say
See,
unblock. He didn't know what he was doing.
see, the
Matt,
funnier thing that I imagine about that with Kamiya is him being like a tutorial to a character action game, right?
Uh-huh.
And the way you skip the tutorial, like if you've seen it before, is pissing him off, so he blocks you, so he stops giving you the tutorial.
yeah, that'd be good.
uh,
Maverick in the chat is saying John Waters. That would be really good.
okay.
I mean, he's already in Cyberpunk. He's Cyber John
That's true.
Waters.
That is true.
Fuck it at this.
Oh.
Um, David Byrne did direct a movie. I have a copy of.
Yeah, so that you can just say like, yeah, put the giant suit on.
Have a copy. True stories right here. I just have it. I had it next. Now David Byrne would be really funny though in Death Stranding. Oh my god, that would be really good. I just I just think, was it David Byrne who like got mugged and they like dragged him into the bushes and he was just like, uh-oh, like I think that was David Byrne.
I think that's him, yeah.
Really good. Um, yeah, it just needs to be like wacky ass. That's I'm again, if I'm gonna look over at this pile of fucking trays that I have next, I do have Evangelion here, and Yakiano would be pretty funny.
They need to put John Carpenter in a Sonic game since he loves them so much, and they
Yes,
need to have him be like that guy who gives Sonic the shoes in Sonic 06, who has like who goes like, oh, rah, rah," you know what I'm talking about?
he needs to be the fucking Luppy Luppy guy. Like that.
Yeah.
That's like something he would be. He'd be like, "Listen, I was high off my ass playing games and thought about Luppy Luppy. Thought I should let you know." Like,
Or
like you,
he'll be like, Sonic, look, you can turn into the werewolf form. What? You don't do that anymore? What the hell?
what are they doing to you? Uh, God, yeah, that's good. All right, last bit here is from Big Challenges, who asks, "What's a game you strongly associate with the Christmas season? Doesn't have to take place in Christmas, just has to have the vibe." I mean,
Gosh,
a lot of the Yakuza games are Christmas. Yakuza,
that's true.
especially like five. Five is very.
So
I think
so here's the thing. I have kind of two answers, right? So if I were to answer broadly, to me, winter is like the season of the JRPG, you know?
okay.
They are these lengthy games that you can pop on the TV and maybe like because again, the atmosphere is so relaxed. Maybe you're playing like on your floor and then you get up and like maybe you make some soup and then you come back and you leave the game still on and like winter is all about making home of like a space, you know? So in that kind of way, if I could give that kind of nostalgic kind of answer, I think that would be like that kind of vague answer would be correct to me. And obviously there are some like specific ones that feel very wintry to me, even when they're not like winter adjacent. Like FTL feels weirdly wintry to me.
Sense
Maybe
to
it's
me.
just like the music. It's like the music choice, you know. Uh, if I had to like pick like a pushes my glasses up kind of answer, Parasite Eve.
Pretty good one.
Because it has both of the things.
Rose, how about you?
I Yeah, I was trying to think. I feel like Max Payne, I think I played around
Good
Christmas,
one.
but also it's a pretty good one. It fits in the vibe and everything. But also honestly the Kingdom Hearts games, I got them all
Nightmare
around
Before
Christmas, I
Christmas.
think, every time. Yeah, and like well, not just Nightmare Before Christmas. I don't know. There's something about
Sure.
the specifically that horrible Chain of Memories PS2 port that's worse than the Game Boy Advance one. That one I think the most of Christmas, also because you're in a lot of like white rooms, I think, and that's Christmas to
Yeah.
me. But,
No.
but it is like, yeah, yeah. You're right about RPGs being the thing, honestly. Like that is kind of the main thing that I always think of. Like I think I played Final Fantasy IV for the first time around Christmas, so I just think of it as like a very you play it in January game almost.
Hmm. I also just think that like in general, like especially with like saying something like Kingdom Hearts, Kingdom Hearts is already like such like a vibes based
Mm-hmm.
video game. Like there's a lot of disagreeable shit in them, but like I was describing it to my partner at one point where Kingdom Hearts feels like a TV show that you've only ever gotten the recollections of because you watched it half awake and like you imagined half the plot points. And I feel like that kind of like sleepy ambiance is kind of befitting of things like winter, you know?
Yeah.
Maverick did just ask us another question in the chat, and I will read it right now. What video game would be really funny for it to have as big of a cultural cachet as its perception online? Like, people were in a tizzy about Mortal Kombat and with its moment in the sun, but nobody gave a fuck about John Hatred. That's true. But also remember, his name is not important. So remember his name, not first name.
That's true. I remember that. Yeah.
Gotta remember it.
Mhm.
Okay, game that would be funny for it to have a big cultural cachet as its reception on. I think there's a lot of games that people argue about online that don't matter to anyone offline. I think that's
Horses just
yes,
recently.
100%.
I'm trying to think of like, there's got to be some sort of like, what did you say?
Fucking barrel in the chat, just Lester the Unlikely. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Who's talking about Lester the Unlikely but me? Like, literally John.
Yeah.
Like,
fucking everyone on the internet when they saw the trailer of Metroid
everyone's
Prime.
playing
there was
4.
Metroid,
one
yeah.
other person. There was one other person, and I was like, I'm so glad someone else agreed with me. So two people, which I guess is more than the 0 that are doing it in real life. So I guess that does count. Sure. Okay.
The thing is like the answer for this is going to change every like 4 weeks as a pretend to think about video games YouTuber shows up and is like the PS2 horror game that you've never heard of, and it's like okay, a lot of people have heard of that. Like seeing a bunch of people
I do know
pretending to
Silent
be
Hill too.
diehard fans of like Kladelka on the PS1. People have heard of it. You just figured it out today.
That hurt me as a real Kudelka liker. I gotta say, I was like, come on, man.
Because like, I'm not gonna rag on any YouTuber specifically, but there is certainly an economy of people who just spend all day like finding what PS2 to PS1 era game is just so liminal.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I think we need to bring more insane video games to the public consciousness and talk about them openly in real life. Like how whenever someone I know talks about a Souls game, I have to bring up Adventures of Cookies and Cream.
That's a real fucking video game.
A real fucking video.
Oh my god. I know you people have all heard about like Souls likes, but it was actually it's a Dinotopia the Sunstone Odyssey like. It's got dodge rolls. It's even got red bar and green bar and blue bar. So I think it's fair to say that they did it first.
They
The
did.
pioneer.
God.
Hey, I know everyone loves Mario, but let's hear it for Wild Woody.
Gotta give a quick
I
shout
know.
out. Gotta give a quick shout out to Gumby on the GBA. There's some real good stuff on there. Listen, okay, that does okay. The slight tangent, but that does remind me of the time that I went to Target when I think it was like a year or two ago. Whenever Unicorn Overlord came out, I was trying to find the Switch version of that, because it was like on sale at Target or Walmart or whatever. And I remember having to go up to the person and being like, "Hey, do you have Unicorn Overlord?" And the guy went in there and dug through the games and then pulled out like Barbie Unicorn Adventures and was like, "This is what you're talking about?" And I was just like,
No.
just like that's the kind of stuff that's going on. So that's my answer. That's my answer. Barbie Unicorn Adventures. We need more people talking about it.
Welcome, Sean Baby, to the podcast.
Every day I wait for the YouTube video essay that's like the Sonic game, the Sonic like game that's fucked up about dying and it's fucking Dynamite Heady or something. Like that's what I'm waiting like for every day to hear my YouTube feed is
Yes.
like the dark side of Sega.
Oh man, Dynamite Eddie though. I mean, that's a good one.
That's a good game.
Yeah, Dynamite
Yeah.
Eddie's good. All right. I think that does it. We hit the 3-hour mark. We did it, folks. Yay!
It's every time I'm on. It's
Every
going to
time.
happen every time.
But thank you so much for listening, everybody. We are Gamesline. We are a website about video games, and we are very happy to have some of y'all here. I think some of y'all are new, which is very nice. If you want to check us out, we have a website, which is gamesline.net, which is also what you could type in on Blue Sky to follow us. We have our Tumblr account as well, gamesline.tumblr.com, and our YouTube channel, which is where VODs of things like this will be uploaded onto youtube.com/@thegamesline. And if you're watching live, we are on Twitch, twitch.tv/GameslineTV. That's where you are now. And if you like what we're doing, we have a Patreon, patreon.com/Gamesline. For $3 a month, you get early access to things like our Dispatch spoiler cast that was released. It's free now, but it was available early for folks. Shows. And then if you really like what we're doing, you can go to thegamezone.zone. You could type that into your web browser, or click it in the chat if you're there right now. Come join our Discord server. You could chat with us, talk about what games you're playing, talk about what stuff you're watching, whatever the hell you want. If you want a nice, chill Discord server, I recommend that one because there's a good amount of people in there. It's not too hectic. You can make some friends in there. I'll just straight up say it. Like it's chill. I think there's good folks in there. So go check it out. And thank you to Melt Channel /Magic Circuit for our theme song Crush off of the album Magic is Real. If you want to listen to their stuff, it's meltchannel.bandcamp.com or magic-circuit.bandcamp.com. Bandcamp Friday was a couple days ago as of recording, so I can't recommend you do that for the month of December, but it's apparently continuing into 2026. So yeah, I would recommend you can buy their music at any time. But I would recommend do it on Bandcamp Friday, the first Friday of every month, because they get the full cut of the money. To buy music on Bandcamp. And Rose, where can people?
fatamorgana.bsky.social and Torngal over on Twitter sometimes, rarely.
Lily, how about yourself?
I can be found at galilisdatra.bsky.social, where I post about nothing in particular. Games a lot of the time.
And you can find me at john.gamesline.net on Blue Sky. Just on there now. Posting about games. I'm reposting stupid shit. I don't know. I don't have a theme on there. I just do what I like. That's what we do on gamesline.net. You know how it is.
Sometimes you give nuanced takes on video games, and sometimes you repost pictures of stacked anime women. That's just how it goes.
That's how it goes.
Yeah.
I mean, you too.
I'm talking from the heart right now, man.
I know. That's what I'm saying. I'm just saying, like we are soul siblings. Regard, I guess.
We are mutual creatures of
condition.
passions. Where you'll be in the line at the Wawa and you're like, oh, my mutual's awake. Oh, they posted tits at 4 p.m. on a Thursday. That's great.
Well, thank you so much, everybody, for listening. We will be back potentially next week with another episode of the Gamesline podcast. I did forget to mention, I'm going to ask Lorelai if she wants to edit next week, because if she doesn't, I'm just going to say, no, it's okay. Because the holidays are coming up, and I don't want to be like, hey, keep working. We're definitely not. We're gonna not do an episode on the week of the holidays on the 21st. Definitely not. And we're probably also not going to do it on the week after because that's like New Year's as well. So we'll either see you in January or next week. We'll let you know when that is more concrete. It's a good idea to join the Discord server to keep up with that, or to follow us on Blue Sky or whatever you want to do there. Just keep up with up-to-date news and to see all the new stuff that's being posted. Like my review and Rose's review and whatever Lily's writing next that I don't know what it is yet, but we'll see when it happens.
Oh, you'll see. You'll all see.
Again, thank you so much for listening. We'll be back soon. Another episode of
Bye.